Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Lonely Marks Wrestling Podcast here live on a Thursday. Uh, hopefully, JPO will be joining us soon, but I am joined by two of my fellow. They're actually lonely, so this makes sense. um,
I might have some news on that front. I might not be for long.
ooh,
I may or may not have had a date last night. So
nice.
now I don't know if anything's gonna come of it. So we'll see how far it goes beyond. I have a second one tentatively scheduled, but for next week. But I don't. We'll see if it goes anywhere. So I can't confirm. I may or may not be lonely. So we'll see.
Well, yeah. So the somewhat
You might
maybe
have to
lonely.
retitle the show again to the Lonely Marks plus JPO and Pez. We'll see, but it's not confirmed yet. It's not 100%.
Not confirmed, but it's possible.
Okay.
All right. So, but yeah, no. Pez is here. Pez. So,
Hey, no.
other than that, how are you doing?
No, I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. Yeah, I had a good weekend last week. We'll talk about predictions, but I did all right. So yeah, we'll talk about that at the end of the show. But yeah, two pretty solid shows as usual. I mean, both WWE's cranking as they've been. They're running hot right now, and AEW, maybe not so hot week to week on the television shows, but they seem to deliver the matches on the pay per view.
Yeah.
So that's for sure.
Yeah, we will get to it. He's the king of the bling, apparently, but I see no bling.
Look, I don't want to show up. Even though I did. Yeah.
But yes, Richie is here as well. Richie, how's it going?
Yeah, no, pretty good. Yeah, excited to talk about these shows. Yeah. Look, I'm in the middle of it's weird because in a way I want you to be lonely because lonely marks, but then it's like. But I want to be happy for you as a friend. So it's like, whoa,
yeah, I know.
But cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure I'll have a short-lived relationship come up here soon. You never know.
Yeah, no, I can't say whether that'll be short-lived or long-lived. I have no further details right now. We'll see. Like I said, it seems to rotate between all of us. So Barbara, I'm sure you'll meet somebody for the stand-up show very soon. They'll think you're really, hey, what women look for? Guys who are funny. So keep it up. They like that sense of humor. You know what I'm saying?
Hasn't worked yet, but
hey,
keep hope alive.
That's the key. Let's just say when I connected with the girl who I went out the other day, we connected over dirty jokes we told each other for like 3 weeks straight. So
Nice.
Jokes are a good way to. And a good way to test if they have a sense of humor and can handle, rotten material. So it's a good way to do that.
Yeah, I will say the show I performed at last night, I was able to get my set recorded. So hopefully I will be able to get that footage and share it out because it went really well. But we're not here to talk comedy. There were no comedy matches over the weekend. We're here to talk some wrestling, but I think before we get into the pay-per-views, there was a little, a couple of surprises on NXT. I think we should mention real quick. Apparently, the TNA WWE crossovers are not done yet because at NXT Battleground, Roxanne Perez will be defending her title against Jordynne Grace. The only issue I have with this is unless Jordynne Grace is making more appearances, it kind of makes it like a no-brainer when you're, who's going to win the match. But other than that, like, I'm kind of stoked for this.
Yeah, but at this point, Jacob, I almost feel like if the match itself can happen, almost maybe anything could happen. Like, what if they actually pulled the trigger on it and Jordynne Grace was simultaneously the TNA Knockout Champion and the NXT Women's Champion? Wouldn't that be kind of cool just in concept?
I would love that.
I mean, just for just a headline making type thing, or just to kind of shake things up a little bit, especially if maybe you don't know what happened behind the scenes. Maybe they signed a deal where she can make multiple appearances or something like that. You never know.
That's true.
I mean, who knows what they're doing right now as far as Triple H. I mean, it seems like all the wrestlers are happy in their situations, and he's certainly open to these unique opportunities. So you never know what happened behind the scenes. I wouldn't say it's 100% that she wouldn't win. I don't know.
You bring up some good points. Yeah. I mean, I guess I will stay optimistic. Richie, what are your thoughts on? Sorry, as you.
Yeah.
I'll hold on.
Yeah.
But oh look, I mean, look, I'm a massive Jordan Grace fan, so as that, I'm good. Yeah, look, I talk about Jordan Grace a lot. I'm going to talk about her again. I'm sorry. Yeah. Look,
just don't jump off the bed in excitement back there.
Oh yeah, you weirdo. Yeah, she got dangled up in the sheets and then went. But look, this is great. I may or may not be subscribed to her OnlyFans. But she is yeah. But like I wrote
Tony Storm has an OnlyFans now. That's a thing.
Yeah,
I'm not subscribed to it, but I saw that she got like 10,000 followers her first day or something like that. So it's an easy way to make a quick buck for these ladies if they want to.
Yeah, I'd imagine. But like, yeah, look, I wanted the Jordan Grace calendar. She sold out very quickly. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of like even like like she's like like Muscle Mommy, very very small, very reminiscent of like almost like a female like Samoa Joe in terms of style as well. She even does a Muscle Buster. So yeah, I like the idea of this. It's like she even put like a merchandise on her website, just like the prohibited portal and sexual. It's very quite funny. But this is really good, and I mean, I don't want to say it's a foregone conclusion that she loses, but like I do see like the idea of maybe NXT people also going to TNA. There was a sort of announced, I think, at their new sort of the other sort of small show that Jordan Grace can put out an open challenge. So I wouldn't be surprised if someone from NXT or someone even from, maybe someone who's not being used in the main roster might just pop in and just, challenge her for a bit.
You could have like a Shayna Baszler or somebody that doesn't get used a lot show up over there. She already did like the Bloodsport thing, so you could have somebody like that.
Yeah, you could do that. Opens up possibilities, and I think it can only be a good thing. I think it's really, I'm intrigued. But there's also I think there's a rumor, hanging around that I don't know when it is. I think it's like around SummerSlam. Could they do Heat Wave, which is NXT's Heat, which is looks like Julia New Japan might be. They're trying to get her on that show in the title feud, but she's got a broken wrist at the moment, so just to touch and go there. So, but I'm looking. I'm excited about the prospects of potentially having her more in the fold or TNA more in the fold going forward.
Jacob and I were talking about the possibilities if they could goddamn get the Motor City Machine Guns. Wouldn't that be awesome? God, wouldn't that be fantastic? I don't know.
Yeah.
Just the Guns versus DIY or New Catch
or just
the
whatever.
Usos. The Usos reunited. If this crossover does continue, what do they do with like ex WWE guys who are in TNA and are going by different names? Do they acknowledge that, or like
Nick Nemeth,
or Act by Elegance, or whatever her name is, Dana Brooke?
Dana Brooke,
Top Dollar.
Hey, oh my God, it's Matt Card, Zack Ryder.
Zach Cardona.
Weird. The weird guys like Matt Hardy who have been everywhere. Pops up again.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Broken and woken at the same time.
Yes.
So you could work something there. Like even, I think Dolph Ziggler's brother Ryan's in TNA now. He quietly left AEW.
I would love to see them use like Santino Marella in this, because he would just make it super entertaining as well. Can you imagine
make some appearances? Yeah.
Imagine R-Truth showing up on TNA like, this doesn't look like Raw.
They sent me directions to the wrong building tonight. Man, the color scheme's all wrong. I mean, I saw red on the inside. I thought it was Raw.
I could make a killing here.
Yeah.
He shows up on NWA Power. Like, where the fuck's all the people?
Have him run into all the ex-WWE guys and call them by their WWE names, and he's like, "Shh, we don't. I don't go by that anymore." Oh, hey, Dolph. Dolph Ziggler. We don't. No, not anymore. Like just play around with that. That'd be hilarious.
It would be so fun. Yeah, I would love to see more. Yeah, like if they could do like a Forbidden Door type event that AEW and New Japan do, I'd totally
run into somebody like who worked with him back in 2004, like TNA when he was in TNA, and be like, "Hey, remember when you were here?" He was like, "I was here. I worked here. What was that?"
There we go. Since we're jumping ahead, but since I have a predictions win over the weekend, I've finally decided we are going to book our TNA versus WWE crossover event. That's
like current TNA.
Current TNA. That's why I'm announcing it now, because it'll give you a few weeks.
I don't watch current Impact, so I don't know who's who.
Exactly. They'll give you time to. But I think it's a fun idea.
I think AEW versus WWE would be a little easier for me because I'm more familiar with their roster. But whatever you want to do, it's your prediction.
But yeah, no. So yeah, that's the first thing that happened, and then to close out NXT, Trick Williams was attacked by none other than Ethan Page, who is no longer All Elite, but he's it was a good episode of NXT. I always think it's funny when people go from like, they're on these main shows of these other promotions and then they come into NXT. But again, NXT is not a bad place to be. So,
well, I think NXT could use an injection of some fresh people because they did lose a good chunk of people to the draft and whatnot.
Right.
Because they got Ilya, they lost Dijak, you lost Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker is now finally kind of officially, on the main roster now. Yeah, like they lost a good Tiffany Stratton, a good couple of people that were big stars there, and even Trick, I feel like, is on the cusp of like being called up full time. Like he's probably going to happen within the end of the year because he's already over. Anytime he shows up on the main roster, he's over. So like he's there. But yeah, they could use a couple of stars kind of coming in, even if it's people who have been, in this case, dropped by AEW and come back to come to WWE for the first time. Maybe they'll find a new life on an NXT or something like that. So and could really shine.
Yeah, I always thought that it's interesting. I mean, because I feel like AEW just has a too big of a roster sometimes, and they just forget people. But I don't know. I thought Ethan Page would be easy to use. This, he's like a well-built guy. He's a really good wrestler, can talk. I really liked his tag team with Scorpio Sky, Men of the Year. I thought they were really cool. I was kind of confusing that they never had it. That the characters never showed any interest in going for the tag titles, which should be like a goal as a tag team. But as a singles guy, I think he's really good. He's he's a really strong dude as well. I could see him I wish he gets a big push. I could see him being maybe a next champion, maybe not the next as early as the next pay-per-view, he could be like a sort of flag bearer going forward, because I do. It is sort of the trend of NXT, and it has been since it became what it is, where most if a champion, the main champion, loses his or her belt, they're probably going to get called up. So I would imagine I could see it, the next person being champion, Ethan Page, but you never know. They might not be done with announcing people coming from AEW. But we might, or TNA maybe. I don't know. Might be someone from TNA. Who knows? But yeah, I like Ethan Page a lot. I think he's charismatic. There's a lot of upside to him.
Yeah. I just hope that we don't get an Adam Cole Drew McIntyre thing where Adam Cole debuts by attacking Drew McIntyre, but then we
never
never
get
get
the
that match. Like I'm intrigued by the possibility of an Ethan Page, Trick Williams match. I also love what Ethan Page said when he debuted. He said, "Whoop that trick, I'm going to." Like it was such a good line. So yeah, that's the NXT stuff. I mean, I guess there's a. I also just real quick love the fact that for that NXT Women's North American Championship that they actually did like qualifying matches for the ladder match instead of just announcing 6 women. I love that. Like, do these tournaments and stuff and announce these things, but do tournaments, make them qualify. Don't just give spots away.
Well, it makes things more exciting. Like the fact that they just did a, I know King of the Ring is a tournament, but like stretch it out over a few weeks and make it exciting. Like set up brackets, have that going. The same thing with Money in the Bank. Yeah, like when they eventually do Money in the Bank, this summer, like have Money in the Bank qualifying matches, and that would raise the stakes, get people to tune in to Raw and SmackDown, and this is a Money in the Bank qualifying match, even if it's multi-man matches or whatever, or one-on-one, whatever it is. But yeah, have people qualify. They used to have Royal Rumble qualifiers. Remember that? Instead of just announcing people for Royal Rumble, where you had to qualify for Royal Rumble or, qualify for a Survivor Series thing or something like that. Like make people, that's an easy way to generate more interest in these things. It's just like, have little mini stakes for these matches.
I also liked how they did it because it was like was it a compound or something? It was like like a kind of the endurance test thing they do, because they legit do that in NXT. Like there's drills and stuff, and that to test people. So I don't know whether like the people who advanced as like a shoot, or whether if it was like it worked in some way, but it could have been like a shoot because I've like sometimes I don't know if he does anymore, but like Meltzer would report on like who's tracking what, like who won the sprint test, who won the weight test and stuff like that. Shock horror, Braun Breaker did pretty well in most of them. Good, and yes, hello.
Yeah, no, we like Braun Breaker too, Fern. We know he's awesome. He's great.
Yes. Are you going to be annoying for the whole time? I feel like you're going to be
using Richie's arm as a chew toy. For fun.
Luckily, you're not actually chewing.
Oh no, yeah, it's that gnawing thing. Yeah, I know.
It's that gnawing thing. So I can handle
that. Yeah. Still a puppy.
Still a puppy being.
And speaking of Battleground, so far we've got 5 matches announced, and 3 of them are women's matches. So shout out to women's wrestling.
Women's wrestling. We actually heard that chant on AEW.
Yeah, there was a really good women's match on AEW. Which we'll get to very soon. But any other news that you guys?
I mean, a lot of the other news was like fallout from the actual pay-per-views. It was like the Edge thing, but that we could talk about that when we actually get to that match. Right. Because that's directly related. I know they announced. They officially announced Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest at Clash. I mean, we all thought that was a foregone conclusion, but they showed the graphic at King of the Ring, like to make it official. And then they also kind of, basically officially announced that, the winners of King and Queen of the Ring would get title shots at SummerSlam. So that's, official now versus whoever the champion is on their brand.
And the very next night, Tony Khan announces that the winners of the Owen Hart tournament are going to get title shots as well.
Which we'll get to. He took half an hour to announce that thing. I feel like he was drunk. Anyway, I guess kind of big news is like contract news. Like apparently Becky Lynch's contract runs out, and like this weekend she still doesn't re-sign. So that's interesting. Chad Gable's contract apparently runs out next week.
Well, I feel like they'll re-sign him.
I feel like what's happening, like why that like it's so because Natalia hasn't re-signed and it's been a couple of few days. I think what's happening is just because there's so many options out there, like talent are leaving it to like the last seconds just to see what other offers they get, and then there's a lot of there's just more options now, and then more money to play with. So I think that they kind of just wait. I think in terms of Becky, I heard that like she might just be looking for like a maybe extended like hiatus, sort of like Seth to kind of look after, obviously just just take a break for a bit. You know what I mean? So.
That's why I thought they were going to finally drop the title. That's why I predicted that Liv was going to win, because I thought they were already kind of said they were going to take extended time off just to be with each other and raise the kid, and then unfortunately Rhea got hurt, so that plan reverted back to her, and it was like, hey, we need you to hang on to this title for a little while until we can get it off of you, and now she's going to go
give us a couple more months.
Just chill with Seth for a couple of months, and take some time off, and come back and get a big pop when she comes back. I'm sure, same with Seth.
Not to spoil the results, but I mean, if you're watching this, you probably watched.
You already know that.
Yeah, you already know. So
yeah,
but yeah, my thing is I don't know if she's in a hurry to resign. If the plan was to take time off anyway, it's like, hey, I'll let you know when they're ready to come back. Maybe we can talk then. But who knows? Maybe she wants to go to AEW and we can get a Rebecca Quinn versus Mercedes Moné program or something.
I don't know I think AEW would have to pay her a lot. I feel like Becky Lynch is in that position where, I reckon if she's offered a contract, it'll probably be one of the biggest offers they've ever offered a woman.
Yeah, she's worth just as much as Mercedes Moné, if not more.
Yeah.
They pulled the trigger on a match that we thought wouldn't happen until Wembley already.
Oh God, yeah, that's annoying.
Will Ospreay won the Casino Battle Royal on Dynamite. Is now going to challenge Swerve at Forbidden Door.
What's forbidden about what's forbidden about this match? It's going to happen at Wembley anyway.
Well, it's not that it's forbidden. I just thought they would save that match for Wembley.
I know, and especially because you had New Japan people in there, it would have more fit the show. Like Shota Umino was in that, in that Casino Battle Royal. I don't know. I just don't think and then you put in a position where it's like, okay, well then Swerve shouldn't be losing that quickly. I mean, again, spoilers for the thing, but Swerve shouldn't be losing that.
Yeah, early. Who wins that match? Because it feels like they don't want to have Will Ospreay lose anything right now. No. He's hot. Swerve just won the title. He's hot. So what happened there? Yeah,
and you want Swerve to go into Tacoma, where he's from, his hometown. You want him going in as champion. You know that pop he's going to get. Yeah. That just that image of him holding the title and that's
but then if he's in Tacoma, that's Wrestle Dream, which is was it October, November? That's in the end of the year. So that would mean if they do Will Ospreay at Forbidden Door and they do it at All In, that would mean Swerve beats him twice. So
somebody's going to lose momentum a lot sooner than they should.
And you don't need. I feel like that roster has 200 people. You couldn't have somebody else challenge Forbidden Door. You could have Will Ospreay challenge somebody else put his his international title in line against somebody else. There's so many more people they can each work.
Yeah, what happened to the rankings?
Well, apparently not much, because on Collision, Will Ospreay is defending his international title against Kyle O'Reilly, who lost to Roderick Strong in an international title match. But now he's getting an international title match. So how does that make any goddamn sense? Rankings, they matter. Right?
I know you're protecting people, right? But in a battle royal, you can get eliminated and be fine. It's not like you're getting pinned or submitted.
You know who would have made a good challenger? And I know it doesn't make sense for the Forbidden Door concept, but Orange Cassidy is on a hot streak right now. Let him move away from Trent Beretta and give him a title opportunity. When's the last time he had the title shot? Was it that three-way with
I thought
Austin Omega?
Okay, am I wrong? But what was the John Moxley Takeshita match? Wasn't that a title eliminator? Was that for the IWGP title or for the World Heavyweight title?
If Takeshita won, he would have gotten an IWGP title.
Okay, I was confused because I thought it was like an AEW title eliminator qualifier or whatever thing. And wouldn't it make more sense maybe to give that shot to John Moxley then? And then you could Swerve could beat Moxley and he'd be okay. You could have Ospreay again face somebody else for the international title for Forbidden Door. You can have him face somebody from New Japan, have a really good match for that title, for the international title, and have a banger of a match, on there. Just face somebody, whoever they want to, throw at him. He can have matches with anybody. I feel like pulling the trigger on that match already is it's way too soon. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Have the Forbidden Door concept should be Swerve facing like, some champion from New Japan or something right now, or just one of the top stars face Naito or something. I don't know, anybody.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was because like there was New Japan people in the match, and then a guy who's not in New Japan anymore won the match. Anyway, I don't know, like you could. Yeah, you've got a bloated roster, and you go with Will Ospreay because you don't want it. He's the hottest. I get that he's the hottest thing on your roster, but yeah, you make the Wembley match feel less special now. But anyway, whatever.
I feel like, well, who do they got right now? They got David Finlay. You could have David Finlay face Ospreay or Swerve.
Yeah,
he's the global champion. You got Shingo Takagi. Shingo Takagi could have a great match with either of those guys.
Yeah, a great match. Yeah,
yeah, with any of those guys. You got guys like Jeff Cobb. Yeah, you got. You got Show. I know Moxley's technically the IWGP champion, but again, wouldn't that make more sense against Swerve if he's the IWGP champion and the AEW champion? At least that would still roll with concept.
Yeah, that'd be all right. Yeah, you could. I don't know. There's things like. What about the guy who that Gabe Kidd who accidentally did Kingston?
Yeah,
he's all right. He's pretty good. There's options there, but yeah, I don't know. To just go for Ospreay seems a bit reductive.
Kenta's still working. He's not hurt anymore. Have Kenta and Swerve. That'd be a great match.
I'm surprised. I think Jordan just messaged. But I'm surprised because they always go to this well. I'm surprised they didn't go with Tanahashi.
For the third year in a row.
Yeah.
So I guess Jordan's not going to be here. Okay, cool.
That's what it sounds like.
All right, okay. We'll still have a show. Yeah. Any other news? No, I wanted to mention that because it seemed odd that you would pull the trigger on that match so quick. I feel like there's so many more options you could go with and delay that to a bigger setting. Just to me personally. And
then you go into Wembley, Swerve versus Ospreay, champion versus champion.
That's a big match, and that's a big dream match that everybody wants to see. And I feel like, you're wasting it, on a concept where you could easily just still do the, versus New Japan type concept and have plenty of great matches that people would be interested in. It's weird to me.
I have no doubt it's going to be a great match, but it's
of course, but still too soon. Too soon. Yeah, stop doing stuff too soon. Save those matches, Tony. You don't need to hotshot that.
Right. But what do you say? Let's get into King of the Ring, which the two guys up here predicted perfectly. Just saying.
Well, but if bloody Jordan was here, I wouldn't feel like the odd one out. But I know.
But
how about that Sami Zayn, right, Jacob?
Right,
Sami Zayn. Of course, he's going to win in the place where he speaks Arabic. Of course, he's going to win. Hey, and it happened exactly as I thought it was. We'll get to it, but I said there would be a miscommunication between Chad and Otis, which is what led to the finish. Didn't I say that? I thought I said that. That's right, and that's what happened.
and we'll get into more of that too.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to be a little irritated with that storyline. But we started off. We actually got a I guess they're calling it the countdown now or whatever countdown.
I almost missed it because I can't tell on the damn replays where everything starts.
Yeah, you gotta. I have to fast forward.
I start this thing and it says it's 4.5 hours, and I know I was like, okay, there's a post-show thing, there's a pre-show thing. They don't tell you when that starts on the Peacock replay. So I'm fast forwarding. I'm like, okay, we're on the countdown show. How long is the countdown show? I don't know. I don't see a timer on the screen, so I don't know what we're counting down to. So I'm fast forwarding. Okay, we're still at having the kayfabe little round table ESPN thing, whatever. And then I get to the thing, I'm like, and all of a sudden Jay Cargill's in the ring. I'm like, oh god damn it. It's like I fast forward through it. This is on the pre-show shit. So I was like, I was getting frustrated. And then you don't know how long it's gonna be. And I don't know. I was getting the way they do the replays, they don't tell you. There should be chapters or something. I don't know. The show starts here. The pre-show goes to here. I don't know.
Or have a timer in the corner.
Yeah,
like they used to,
that'd be nice.
or,
Yeah, they
you know,
used to
pops
do
up every
it.
once in a
They do
while.
it occasionally, but yeah, have a timer in the corner that goes, 60 minutes till the pay per view. Okay, cool. I know how far I can go. Whatever.
Like I understand why they do it because it's because it's like when they want like a sports feel because both companies do this, but like. Does anyone really sit there and watch it? I got to watch this because I want to watch the panels, the fake conversation between all the wrestlers and see their dumb predictions. And like, do anybody like sit there and watch that? But no, everyone's just fast forwarding to if they've got a match. Otherwise, they're not watching the pre-show. So I don't know.
No, I mean, I liked him on Opie and Anthony, but I don't need to hear what Sam Roberts kayfabe commentary on who he thinks is going to win this match. I don't, or the guy from the
Pete Rosen.
Yeah, Rosenthal. I don't need to hear what Rosenthal has to say. I just don't care.
Yeah.
But we did get a match. Yeah, we got apparently Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell are just going to keep getting tag team title shots on kickoff shows because they got one at Elimination Chamber. They got one here at King of the Ring taken, but this time we had the champions of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, and I thought this was a pretty good match for the kickoff. I thought there's some good action, some good back and forth. I got to it a little bit late, and I didn't care enough to rewind. So
I was the same way.
Most of it.
When I got to it, Jacob Jade was like they were putting the heat on Jade, and they did the hot tag, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to rewind. It's fine. Like I just watched the last 5 minutes of the match, and then started doing double team moves on him. I was the same way.
Yeah, I saw when I started watching, they were double teaming Bianca, and who was selling the leg pretty well. And yeah, Indy and Candice were doing some good double teams and getting some good, offense in on Bianca, and then Jade got the hot tag, and but yeah, I thought there was good action throughout. I thought it was a serviceable kickoff show. Give the crowd, something to watch for 10 minutes or whatever it was. Which, by the way, I think this is the perfect way to use Jade while she's still, trying to improve in the ring. She does just enough. She's not in there too much. So I think her and Bianca are the perfect team. But yeah, no, I thought this was, it was good for what it was. It was a good kickoff show match.
Yeah, it's always weird when they go to Saudi Arabia and they've all got to wear the full bodysuit type thing. Nia Jax already wears them, so that's not awkward. She wears those anyways as her gear. But they, they have to wear these full, get these full outfits made. But hey, at least Bianca and Jade had the right withal to make matching pink, ones, so they look like a team. So I at least appreciate that's just a little thing I appreciated. If we're gonna do it, just at least look like a team.
We'll get to awkward outfits that didn't maybe serve the match.
Becky Lynch's weird tuxedo outfit, whatever the hell she was wearing. Yeah. That was odd. Whatever she wore to the building as well. She was wearing a goofy hipster suit thing. I don't know what the hell she was
getting fashion advice from Seth.
No, because then she'd be wearing feather boas and weird shit, goofy Charlotte Flair type shit. I don't know what she was wearing. She transported to Austin, Texas in 2007 with her outfit. It was just very strange. I did like that they have I guess it looked like they have a kind of a finishing tag team. What was like a DDT into a wheelbarrow sort of a thing. That was cool. Yeah. I mean, a good way to kind of showcase Jay's power. They pop the DDT and she just tosses them right afterwards. That was a good way to do a little double team. I like it.
Because it was the first time I've seen that. I was like, oh, that ending, it was abrupt. I was like, oh, okay, it's finished. All right, go. All right. I do feel Indy has her positives where it's I think she can do stuff well, and she is charismatic. If you've seen her on NXT, with I kind of in a way wish her stuff with the faction, the way with him with Gargano and Austin Theory was really entertaining, and she fit well in that. But she's clearly still pretty green, and obviously Candice LeRae had to take a lot of the match. I don't feel like Indy did much in this match, so I feel I kind of forgot she was there. But beyond that, it was fine. But yeah, I do feel bad because I feel it's pretty much Candice doing the bulk of the work here.
Yeah, but I still thought we got a pretty decent kickoff match, and then the show itself would actually start. And I forgot what match kicked off the
Liv and Becky kicked off.
Becky, that's right.
Which was like the third longest match. I thought this was too long. I felt like this match just went kind of on, and like really not for much reason. I didn't think this was a terribly great match. I thought it was an okay like Raw match, but I don't know. It just, there was something off about it. Like, I don't know, the energy of it or something. Like, I thought it was okay, but I don't know, like whatever you guys think. But yeah, I just thought it was a good Raw match.
I thought it was all right. Again, I when I say like the outfit hindered the match, I actually did, because I think it kind of, she was basically in a tuxedo type thing. I mean, like, look, I understand like you got to come up with different things for, you know, because of Saudi customs, which is unfortunate. But like, yeah, like I thought she was having trouble wrestling in this thing.
There's a guy who used to wrestle for us. I'll see if I put up a picture, Richie, named Maxwell Chicago. Who I used to ref for a lot. He wore like a full bodysuit tuxedo thing. I'll see if I can pull a picture of it. That's what it reminded me of. But his gimmick was that he was like a lounge singer. Like he came out to Richard Cheese music and stuff like that. So you know, like I felt like she looked like that. But I'm sorry, I mean, I'll see if I can pull up a picture while you're talking.
She looked like a restaurant host at like Olive Garden or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. It felt like, yeah, I don't know. It's just I think she couldn't do a lot of some of the moves that she wanted to do. So, but like, the match was all right. And I think it was probably in the thing where it's like, I think the crowd, like, obviously they're going to boo, they're going to, they want to boo like Liv because she's a heel, but they kind of don't want to because she's kind of, kind of like an over, like she's kind of getting over as well. It's a weird thing with fans because like, she was kind of getting booed because like, it was like initially as babyface because like people were kind of getting over her a little bit, and now she's a heel and kind of like, that she's showing a lot more, charisma, and they're like, hey, we like you now, and they're going to cheer you as a heel. So, and like obviously like, that story is probably the most interesting thing on Raw at the moment. One of the most interesting things. That's
he's retired now. There's a guy who's a ref for a lot named Maxwell Chicago, and he had a bodysuit that looks like a tuxedo. That's what she was wearing.
I want to boo him now.
No, he was still a total like chicken shit heel. It was pretty great.
Oh yeah, absolutely, that's great.
He was our champion for a little while. One of the things, and they did not like that at all. he won a Royal Rumble thing we did by basically hiding under the ring, and did the thing where he came in after the person might have won and then dumped them over the top rope at the last minute, like an asshole. So, yeah. And I had to. We did the two ref thing where the one ref declared the other guy the winner, and then I went, nope, he never entered the ring. He's the winner. And oh, they were mad. Boy, were they mad.
But I don't know. Yeah, I don't feel like, even if like Becky's at the next Saudi one or whatever. She probably won't be the next Saudi one because that's they announced. I didn't realize
Crown Jewel in November.
I didn't realize they're doing 2 shows this year. I think they probably do that all the time. I just forget. But yeah, they're doing Crown Jewel. But yeah, I endeavor to guess that she's not going to wear a suit again. That was a bit weird. But yeah, like the match was like okay at points, but yeah, like. Yeah, so but it furthered intriguing storyline for when Rhea comes back, which I'm thinking if they're furthering this storyline, I'm guessing they don't think Rhea's going to be out for that long. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I'm not a fan of the Dominic involvement in this. It's like, no, just. Let Liv be a champion. Let her go on this revenge tour. Let her go on a nice heel run with the championship, and then let Rhea return as a babyface. She's gonna get the biggest pop when she returns, and I hope it's a surprise return. Do not announce it. Just let her come back and attack Liv or whatever.
I did see a funny thing going around though, Jacob, about you could now have another ladder match for the custody of Dominic. Between Liv and Rhea. So, like almost 10 years later, you could have another Dominic custody ladder match to see who gets Dirty Dom. I thought that would be, or have him do the classic like like Dom in a shark cage above the ring type thing or something like that, or have even better, have Dom on a pole like Judy Bagwell on a forklift. Like, first one to get him down wins. can have him.
And then when they finally think that door's closed, Buddy Matthews makes his return to WWE, and then they do a custody of Rhea match in ladder match between Dom and Buddy Matthews.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't do custody. Not in 2024. You can't do it for women. That's.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I did see like a meme going around, people like replacing that old school SummerSlam graphic with like all the new people involved, and I thought that was pretty hilarious.
But yeah, no, I'm like you guys. I thought the match was fine, but I will say, not a fan of the amount of interference on this show. In the matches, because when 3 out of 5 of your matches have outside interference, that's a little too much. Did they take a page out of Tony Khan's booking? But yeah, no, the match is fine. Thankfully, we got a better match with the triple threat for the IC title. Sami Zayn retaining against Big Bronson Reed and Chad Gable, after, just like Pez predicted, some miscommunication on the outside between Chad Gable and Otis. But yeah, no. Richie, what did you think of the triple threat match we got?
Well, it was good, other than the winner.
Why? Because you thought Bronson Reed was going to pull a miracle here?
I think, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate, I think Bronson Reed will always be like a challenger, but just like,
you know what he's like? He's like Nakamura. He's like the guy you put in front of the guy who's going to eventually get the shot. Nakamura, when you need somebody to challenge somebody, you get Nakamura for like a month, when you need to transition to somebody else.
Or it's like
he's there to lose.
Or it's like because Mark Henry is in that spot a bit in his career, and then like at the end, towards the end of it, it was like, okay, you're hot, we'll give you a title run for a little bit. Yeah, you've done your dude. We'll give you a title run for a little bit, but not much. So I don't know. Speaking of,
or it used to be like Kane back in the day. Like Kane would be that guy, with a challenge for a little bit, but be like a big monster. But you knew he kind of probably wasn't going to win, eventually.
Mark Henry, by the way, not in AEW anymore. But anyway,
yeah.
But yeah, interesting. He didn't really do much in AEW, did he? How am I supposed to know what the main event, when the main event is on Rampage? But yeah, in regards to this match, yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah, I think obviously all three worked pretty well. And yeah, I enjoyed the match. Yeah, immensely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it does. Yeah, it makes sense for like Sami to win. And if I'm guessing they're gonna, that they'll work some contract thing out with Chad. And yeah, because you'd think the route to go would be Chad finally winning, unless they're going to do a thing with Otis. But I don't know. I just feel Otis. Otis has a good upside, but he should really only be a sort of a comedy character. So I don't know if they're going to insert him in that seriously. But yeah, I think there's good TV to be had with Chad as a champion eventually. So I think that's the route they probably should go. So yeah, but yeah,
well,
I like the match.
If you did notice though, Bronson took the pin, not Chad. So there's still an avenue there where they could still have the Sami, Chad, maybe even a clash. Have a singles match. So that could
I can see that.
Yeah. But Jacob, while this may not have been technically the best match on the show, I thought it was the most fun match on the show. Because goddamn was this 13 minutes of pretty much nonstop fun. Because those guys just jumped all over each other immediately. They started doing a bunch of triple spots. They did a really nice superplex powerbomb spot, out of the corner that looked really good. They pulled out the old double German suplex thing where Chad, German, both Sami and Bronson, all hanging onto each other at the same time. That was great. They got a big pop. They did the double ankle lock spot. That was fun. But they were just pulling out all kinds of classic, just triple team spots. Sammy hit a couple of dives. Bronson hit a nice dive, through the ropes. That was cool.
And I don't care how many times I see it.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be impressed when a big man can do that.
Oh yeah, no, and Bronson then misses the moonsault, but Chad hit his moonsault. Like that was good stuff.
Yeah.
Like I just thought this match was like a hell of a lot of fun. Like they just went crazy for 13 minutes, and just threw everything at the wall and just had a nice little sprint. Obviously until the ending stuff with Otis and whatnot. But I thought this was a ton of fun, like a really, really fun. And I thought it was perfect for what it needed to be as far as just like a quick thing. Let's just hit a bunch of cool stuff and get in and get out. And so it might have been my favorite match on the show, just from a fun perspective, maybe.
I might be inclined to agree with you because I have the same feelings. Like, this was just a lot of fun, and they were going from the moment that bell rang until that closing stuff. I wanted 5 more minutes. Like, give me some more. Give me some more with these guys. If they do end up going Chad versus Sammy, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the clash match. I'm sure they'll work out some sort of contract. I think, there's no reason for Chad to leave.
I could see them even doing like a 2 out of 3 falls match or something like that, like some kind of stipulation, not like a hardcore stipulation or something, but some kind of like wrestling related stipulation, like a 2 out of 3 or submission match or something, wrestling related. You could do something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I would love to see like an Iron Man match between these two, or something like that. But yeah, because we haven't gotten an Iron Man match.
Well, it'd be one of those cheap 30-minute Iron Man matches. It would be, 60. Like I feel like when was last? So AEW had the MJF Danielson one. But
that was really good.
But when was the last time WWE had an Iron Man match, like a full 60-minute?
It might have been that funky 5-way in NXT.
Okay.
Which ended in a tie. But I think for the main roster,
you have to go back a lot.
Was it Seth and Dolph for the IC title at the?
It was Seth and Dolph, and then the crowd are being dicks because they kept going. They kept like talking about the clock. They kept going. Yeah, like they were putting themselves over with the clock. Because the clock was malfunctioning. So I don't know if that spurred them, but I guess maybe the aversion to doing that in WWE Sport, doing like Iron Man matches because you can't. Maybe they might be now because they don't book as many matches, but back then, like you kind of like because you got an hour match set aside, you can't book as many maybe matches around it. So maybe that was the idea, but like they only book 5 matches now for pay-per-views, it seems.
So the last one-on-one, I'm looking up Iron Man on Wiki. The last one-on-one full 60-minute Iron Man match in WWE was John Cena and Randy Orton at Bragging Rights 09.
Holy shit!
Anything goes Iron Man match in 09 because the rest of these are all 30-minute things, whatever, which I don't really consider Iron Man matches.
Because some normal matches go 30 minutes.
Yeah, there's a lot of pay-per-view matches that go 30 minutes, but yeah, as far as that goes, AEW's had one 30-minute one, Kenny Omega and Pac, and then the full MJF Danielson was an hour. Well, an hour and 5 because they had overtime. TNA, I think that one's all those 30-minute ones. They had one. The 2021 Josh Alexander, TJ and TJ Perkins.
Oh, yeah.
I need to look that match up.
June 3rd, 2021 on Impact. So Impact X Division title match. But yeah, we don't get a lot of them. So the last one in WWE, one-on-one 60 minutes was Cena and Orton in 09. So I don't know. Will we ever have one again? Maybe.
Well, I think it's more possible I don't think we'll get like much 60-minute Iron Man. It was cool we got MJF and Bryan Danielson, but I don't expect to get that many Iron Man matches in AEW considering they like to Tony Khan likes to put on like fucking 10 matches or 10, 12 matches. We'll get to that. That fucking pay-per-view was good, but fuck, it's long.
That whole thing, including the pre-show, was 5.5 hour show. Oh my god, way too long.
But yeah, in WWE where they only have like 5-6 matches now, it's like it's conceivable. If the feud calls for it, they're not going to be like. I feel like in Vince territory, they'll be like, "Hey, we're getting a pay-per-view called WWE Iron Man."
Hey, I'll tell you what. Give me Gunther and Ilya Dragunov in a 60-minute blow-off Iron Man match. I'm down for that shit.
They've teased wrestling each other. That that they did Glare the other day on Raw.
Oh yeah, no, they walked by each other on the rampway. No, I mean they will fully acknowledge it. I have a feeling at some point they will meet again, but I think that's one where I think Triple H knows that's a money match that people want to see because they never had the third match; they only had the two. So
Yeah.
and they're technically 1-on-1 against each other. So that's always going to be in the back of the head. So I feel like when he does get it, that's going to be like a main event. Well, we talked about the Berlin thing. That's a main event for that Berlin show.
Yeah.
You have to do that. Even if Ilya doesn't win and Gunther wins, if Gunther wins the world heavyweight title and then they do a heavyweight title match in Berlin with those two, holy shit, that would be awesome. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, and Dragunov doesn't necessarily have to win. I know he's like relatively new, but just do the match. Like that match would be sick in Berlin.
Yeah.
And perfect setting for it too, of course. And then they could yell German at each other a whole match and it'd be great. Like they did in the first match. Just yell at each other German. We have no idea what they're saying, but they're yelling at each other a lot. That'd be fun.
In the second match, it almost added to it that there was no crowd because you could hear a little more.
Well, that was the first match. The second match was
the first match, yeah. But it almost added to the match. They couldn't hear. It didn't have a crowd, so you could.
It was just them yelling at each other. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I enjoyed it more because you could hear everything.
Yeah, because they were just straight yelling at each other in German. You couldn't understand what they're saying, but they were really pissed off at each other. Like it was so fun. No, I think it's a foregone conclusion. They have to do that match in Berlin. I think Triple H knows that. That's a perfect main event for that show. That would get people hyped for it.
Just like you have to give Drew the title in.
Yeah, you kind of have to book Gunther and Dragunov for that show, and that would be a perfect way to blow that off in a great setting. And again, not one of the major pay-per-views would be a perfect way to do that at a main event at a non, Big Four or whatever. And like, I think people would be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah, and I think Triple H is doing a good job of booking things like that. Like we got Rhea in the main event at Elimination Chamber in Australia. We're going to get Drew. That has to be the main. Even if there's a WWE championship match on the show with Cody, like you still give Drew the main event, give him that spot in that moment, give Gunther and Ilya that spot in Berlin. Like, as long as a title is in the main event and not just some random anarchy match, we'll get to it. But Iron Man. Speaking of Iron Man, one person I don't think we will ever see in an Iron Man match or an Iron Woman match is our new Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax.
No.
She got blow up pretty quick.
Defeated.
That match didn't even go 10 minutes. It was 9:40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nia Jax, as we all predicted, your Queen of the Ring, she will face whoever the WWE Women's Champion is at SummerSlam.
Bayley.
I'm thinking it'll still be Bayley. Yeah, but you never know.
I think that
Money in the Bank happens before, so.
Yeah, I also think at Clash at the Castle they're probably going to do Bayley versus Piper Niven because Piper Niven's Scottish, and they're building towards that anyway. But I don't think.
Nice.
Well, is that going to be similar to the Zelina Vega thing at Backlash in Puerto Rico, where she's not going to win?
Maybe, but
they'll give her the shot just because she's from there.
I think that's what's happening. Yeah, because like she's been Chelsea Green and Piper Niven have been up in her face lately. So
I mean that makes sense. At least let her have the hometown moment. Like that's cool. If they do that.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like they foreshadowed the Bayley thing, when Nia Jax came to SmackDown. So, yeah.
But then I think they also did a good job because Lyra Valkyria has kind of been in the Becky Lynch, was involved in the Becky Lynch live thing. So I was like, I think they did a good job of balancing it to where you didn't know for sure, like, hey, they're kind of teasing both of these, like, which one's actually going to happen. But now we've got Nia Jax as your queen, and I thought the match was fine. I thought it was a decent match. I think you play to the strengths that Nia has. I think Lyra. I think she became a star throughout this tournament, and I'm hoping she's okay. That the finish did kind of look a little rough with Nia Jax landing on her.
I thought the finish was gnarly. I was like, oh yeah, that was out of nowhere. Holy fuck.
Yeah, the fucking Yokozuna squash finish.
I was like, holy shit, that looked kind of cool, but I don't think it was meant to look that gnarly, but cool.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it to kick out because I'm like, oh, it doesn't. No, okay, we are because it didn't feel like a 10-minute match. I thought they were moving pretty good in my opinion. But yeah, I thought it was a decent match to end the Queen of the Ring. So, Austin, what did you think about the women's final?
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact they're leaning a little more into. I think Triple H again. They weren't for a while leaning into the fact that Nia is much larger than everybody. Like you need to treat her like not that she's as big as like a Yokozuna, but like compared to everybody else, she is. Like compared to some of these, you put her next to somebody like Zelina Vega, she's ginormous. Like and you need to play her like she's a giant. And I like the fact that they've actually like leaned a little more into that. She's been working more like that. It was a mistake to have her kind of wrestling like everybody else because she isn't like everybody else. And yeah, I don't mind I don't mind they keep these matches shorter because like that plays to her strength. Like you don't want her having 20-minute matches. Like she doesn't need to be having 20-minute matches, and it's fine. So I mean, they work to her strength. Lyra had some nice attempts at comebacks and trying to overcome it, but it was a David Goliath thing where Goliath wins. So and it's fine. And I didn't even realize it till after the fact, but I'm glad you ended with Cody, going over the main event, obviously like we thought he would, but you also needed that because we had two heels going over in the King of the Ring matches, technically. Right, so, yeah. If you had ended on one of those, you technically had, a heel woman go over and a heel male going over. So, you end with Cody just to send the crowd home happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if Richie had his way with the title match, or JPO had his way with the title match, we would have had 4 heels.
A lot of heels going over tonight. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, I generally think that you can make exceptions and stuff, but I feel like a King of the Ring winner should be a heel thing mostly. You could get more mileage out of a cocky heel being like, "Hey, I want King of the Ring," than.
And I feel like they've done that most of the time.
Most of the time, yeah. Except for maybe one that comes from us, Edge, who's a babyface.
But like
Kurt Angle was a really good
King. Kurt Angle, King Kurt was a heel at the time when he won. Yeah. Like Brock Lesnar was a heel. Triple H was a heel. Even Stone Cold was a heel when he won back in '96. He cut the Austin 316 promo and started getting over. But technically, Jake Roberts was the face in that match. Yeah. But Billy Gunn was kind of over. That was an odd one because he was still a DX, No Age Outlaws guy. So that was that was an odd one.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought the match was all right, but yeah, like I said, that bonsai drop was that was actually cool, but I don't know if it was meant to kind of look that gnarly, but I was like, that was a cool finish to the match. But it's cool that I remember in Vince's WWE, it was one of those things where and you shouldn't feel this way, but it was almost like you wouldn't want to be called up to the main roster because they're gonna fucking ruin that person. That's so over. They're gonna ruin that person. You still hear those stories about how they wanted to, Adam Cole never got to the main roster because they wanted to shave his head and make him a manager, which is fucking ridiculous. The fact that it's not even just Saudi crowds. There's been crowds on Raw that have been chanting Lyra. I'm like, oh shit, she's over already. So they're doing a good job at getting these stars over, and so and then Carmelo's getting good reactions as well, and I think and then obviously Ilya's getting good reactions. So I think they're doing a good job with this NXT talent. So decent match, but I didn't expect much out of it.
It delivered what I wanted it to. It was Nia Jax becoming Queen of the Ring. I love too how she was able to switch it so quick after the match too, because I feel like the emotion was real when Triple H was handing her the crown, and I feel like that was real. And then she's just able to switch it and just become, the heel, the arrogant heel again. I thought it was great. I think she's getting a little better on her promo work. I still don't think she's great, but she's getting better. So I don't mind.
I feel if we still had I know the manager thing is kind of a lost art. I feel like Nia Jax with a little Harvey Whippleman type manager or a Bobby Heenan type manager would go a long way. And I know they don't have a lot of those things anymore other than Paul Heyman. Like, but I feel like that's a lost art that if they brought something like that back for people like Nia Jax to put her over as like, here's my monster, of the women's division, like that could actually work.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think. Yeah, because I can't think of anyone who would make a good manager, and then alongside Nia. But yeah, no,
it's a lost art that they haven't done in a long time. But I miss AEW still has managers, but I feel like WWE hasn't done the manager thing like really in a long time. It's kind of a lost thing.
Yeah. So, no. Yeah, decent final for the women's, but I thought we had a tremendous final in the King of the Ring, with Gunther defeating Randy Orton again, as we all predicted, finally getting that world title shot that I thought he should have had at WrestleMania. But 4 months later isn't too bad either. The crowd was hot for Randy. They were some.
They love them some Randy Orton nowadays. Yeah,
I was singing a song.
It's becoming a thing now, and you can tell Randy's like soaking it in now. Every time it happens in these other countries, he's loving it. Because goddamn, did he take like 10 minutes for his entrance too?
Right?
He even signed a person's sign.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I do. It's interesting because remember, like obviously when Randy Orton was coming up, he had a reputation for being a bit of a short-tempered dude. He just seems like so chill. Now he's like, in his 40s. He seems like such a chilled guy. Just like, it's like very night and day. He's growing up.
Yeah, but man, I was a little worried for Randy in his older age. Getting those chops from Gunther, and yeah, because Gunther is a hard hitting individual. Like you go back. Watch any of his matches and look at his opponents afterwards, and you'll just know just how.
I feel like he only got chopped like 3 or 4 times. Like they didn't do it as much as Gunther usually does it to other people.
Right, but he made them count.
No, he did, but I think he only got him like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Like overall, like everybody else, like the Sheamus thing, he'll chop you like 15 times, something like that. But I feel like this one, maybe Randy was like, "I'll give you a few, but let's not go crazy with it."
And then I love whenever they would show the replay, they would do it in slow motion just to watch his. Oh man! And that's the thing. Like I had some friends over on Sunday, which is why I had to leave the stream early that you guys were for AEW, and some of them aren't wrestling fans, and they don't get it. I'm like, whatever, don't yuck my yum.
I hate that saying, but cool, go ahead.
But somebody started doing the chops, and I was like, yeah, listen to that. That's the flesh actually hitting the flesh. So don't tell me like they don't actually fight. It's like, no, they're real athletes and respect them. Dang it. And I think Randy Orton deserves the respect. I thought this was a great match. This might be my favorite match of the night by far, as far as like in-ring work, because I think I just think Gunther is so good. I've become more and more a fan of his throughout the years, ever since from his days as the UK champion to his IC run, and now like finally getting that world title shot. Like I think there's an argument to be made that he's one of the 5 best wrestlers in the world right now. Like he's so good. Props to Randy. He took everything, sold everything really well. And yeah, that we'll talk about the finish, but in a moment. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on the match overall first. Richie, what did you think of the men's final?
Yeah, I won't go too deep into the finish, but I don't hate it. I'll explain why in a minute. But yeah, it was a really good match. I think they worked the match pretty good, well, and yeah, like obviously, Randy Orton, like they did put. I feel like they put over too much that Randy Orton's an old man. Yeah. They're like, oh, we don't know how long Randy Orton's gonna be out for. My man, like, he's not like you're making it sound like he's retiring tonight. He's kind of insane. You got a couple more years in him. It was really good. I thought it was definitely the match of the night. And yeah, there was a couple of moments where I'm like, oh, maybe Randy Orton could win this, but I thought it was a really well worked match, and yeah, they love Randy Orton. And then obviously now everyone else has started just singing the theme song now, so Saudi has started a thing, a trend. So and like I said, I think Randy Orton's just in the like, hey, I'm chill, I'm cool, I'm content with life kind of phase, and it's kind of cool to see. But you'll get to the finish after his results. But
yeah, Randy Orton has lost at every premium live event he's competed at since his return, except for Survivor Series, and he's still just as over. It's incredible. But Pez, what did you think about Gunther versus Randy?
Technically, Orton's only 5 years older than Roman Reigns, who's the champion. So I mean, he's not that old. I mean, Samoa Joe's older than him.
It just seems like he's older because he's been here for 22 years now.
Yeah, no, he's just been around forever. So yeah, he's just one of the old vets now. I mean, like
wow.
Yeah, I mean, Undertaker was still wrestling well into his 40s and 50s. It's like
we have Edge jumping up a cage at 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's what? Yeah, 50. Edge is 50. Yeah, he's still working. So I feel like as long as if you're in as good a shape as Randy Orton is, we all wish we're in as good a shape as Randy Orton is right now. Like Jesus Christ, he's still jacked. I mean, AJ Styles is around, actually a little bit older. Isn't he like 46 or something? And AJ is still like jacked out of his brains and still working. So I feel like they could still do their thing. They just don't take as many like big high risk maneuvers and stuff. They can still just solidly wrestle, which is all Randy was doing in this match, just wrestling. It's not like he did anything nuts, did anything super crazy. He's just doing his moves. But yeah, really, really good match. Just again, Gunther, I'm glad they've treated him like the main event caliber star that he is, because obviously he is, and he's paid his dues. The dude's been, working for like 15 years. I mean, he's been, he's a total veteran now, and I'm glad Triple H obviously sees his potential and knows he can be, a guy to carry a brand and whatnot, and one of the guys going forward. So, they've made him a star. They treat him like a star. The match had a big fight feel with the crowd. They were super into Randy, but I feel like they were also like Gunther won, and they still gave him like a ovation. I think they
gave him like "You deserve it" chant.
You deserve it. Yeah, I mean, after we've been booing the whole time, but I think because they also recognize like he's awesome, and he's getting his time, and he's going to be champion soon. So that's pretty cool. And really, really solid work with like, I mean, they were treating Orton like he was older, but it's just because he's an older veteran, he just is. And they played with like, he's had nagging injuries with the knee and the back and all that kind of stuff. And they played into that, which I liked. And, Gunther did his homework and knows how to counter stuff and things like that. So yeah, and I like the finish too with the RKO and the little bit of a delay and him like tweaking his knee and getting pulled into the cradle. Like, I thought that was a unique little finish. So kind of out of nowhere. So I liked it. It was good.
Yeah. Now, the finish itself, the pin itself, here's my thought. I just don't think Randy had his shoulder down because they just didn't do it the right way. Like, if you look back when they show the replay, they don't even show the other side of the pin that you see in real time when the match actually finished. You go back, and Michael Cole's not mentioning anything. Corey Graves barely mentioned it. I think it's just being made a bigger deal because wrestling fans like to, point out the controversies and the botches and whatnot. I just don't think Randy had his shoulder down.
But
I don't think that was planned at all.
But even if it was deliberate, I have a argument for it, like the fact that I didn't hate it because then you set up the idea that because I think Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton is still going to happen at SummerSlam, so you set up the idea of like, hey, yeah, Gunther technically beat me, but like my shoulder was up, so I sort of deserve a shot. So because if Gunther just beat him clean, and then Randy's like, I want a shot at SummerSlam, what was the point? I mean, it kind of makes the the loss not, you know.
Well, I feel like that doesn't matter anyways because Gunther's on Raw and Orton's on SmackDown.
Yeah, well,
It
no,
also doesn't matter because you can lose a match and get a title shot at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, we saw that with AJ Styles.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind because there's the president there to kind of like, hey, but there's an argument there for him to have a title shot, even though you don't need it. Like at least like AJ Styles won a tournament, but but Randy Orton can have an argument. You know, just like, hey, it's not like with AJ Styles. They were like, oh, you know, here's Nick Aldis came out and was like, here's your number contender, AJ Styles. So you still have to sort of earn it. But
you could have Randy go to Nick, and Nick could be like, okay, I'll put you in a qualifying 4-way or something, you know, to be a contender. You know what I mean? He could have an argument to be in a contenders match, not necessarily get an automatic, you know, title match.
I guess my point is that it creates an argument for him as opposed to if he just won clean. It's like, well, you know, like you know, because it was for a title match for, you know, either end they're on. So if you just won clean, it's like, well, you don't really. If this was, you know, this wouldn't hold up in court, mate. Like you lost, you lost fair and square. Like, you know, like I mean, yeah, they just like, well, yeah, well, I'm Randy Orton. That is true.
But at the same time, there's, you know, 3 months between now and SummerSlam, so they could have easily built Randy back up if the plan is, you know, Cody and Randy. The only reason I say I'm not sure if it was planned or not is because usually if it is planned and they're going to draw attention to it, they'll show the same angle on the replay, and they didn't.
Well, you know, you'd have like the Triple H was already out there. You'd think he would. I thought maybe when he was out there, he was gonna, hey, before I give you this, I'm just gonna draw attention to a replay, and maybe I thought he'd restart the match. But he didn't.
But I think it'd be cool, you know, if they do want to give Randy a SummerSlam title shot. Triple H has mentioned running it back, and he's like, hey, no, Gunther's your king, but if you can beat Gunther at Clash, you could get a title shot as well. And then because I think if you have Randy beat Gunther, you know, it puts that doubt in your mind, like, oh, is Gunther gonna be able to beat whoever the champion is? It'll be Drew. Let's be honest.
It should be Drew. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind, like, you know, like either guy's a big man or, you know, good meat slapping fest. But Drew and Gunther have, like, you know, history with, you know, kind of, you know.
No, I want to see them beat the hell out of each other again. That's what I want to see.
And I think I think that means that we'll get Finn and Damian Priest a lot sooner than.
Yeah, I think that's
predicted. I think we can get that at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But, you know, good final. Even if the finish was a botch or if it was planned, either way, I think it keeps Randy looking somewhat strong, even though he's, like I said, lost at every premium live event since he's returned. But you know, good match. And then we get into our main event: Cody Rhodes versus Logan Paul, not for the U.S. title, only for the undisputed WWE Universal, whatever it's called now.
It's just called the WWE Championship now.
Oh, good.
They dropped that whole Universal thing. They haven't said that at all.
Okay, yeah.
Because that was a Vince McMahon thing. They're like, forget all that crap. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. So just we got the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title, kind of like how it used to be back in the day with the Raw and SmackDown brand back in like the 2000s. You know, there was the World Heavyweight title and the WWE title. Makes sense.
Yeah.
This also makes me wonder if Logan Paul's going to be your challenger at Crown Jewel as well, because I think the last time they were in Saudi with Roman Reigns, he was Roman and Logan. So are we going to get a Cody and Logan rematch at Crown Jewel, which I wouldn't be opposed to, because I thought these two worked really well together. I really enjoyed this match. I thought this was a really good main event. Sucks that they, you know, I think they followed Gunther and Randy really well, because I thought that was a good hard hitting match. But then this one, I think you had, you know, the bigger spots, and I think Logan impresses me more and more every time he's in the ring, I think he's a really good athlete. Say what you want about him personally, but I think professionally, like in the ring, like he looked really good in his first match at WrestleMania with the Miz and the Mysterios, and I think he's improved every single time. And also shout out to him for suggesting that drone camera idea or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was really awesome. Cool. That was really cool. Cody retains as we all thought. He's probably not. We're probably not going to have any doubt of him losing the title for at least 9 more months or something like that. But Pez, what did you think about the main event?
No, it was super, super fun. It reinforces why Logan's one of my favorite guys to watch right now whenever he does wrestle, just because it's fascinating to watch how natural he is at this. Like, say what you will, but damn, he's a natural. He's got all the instincts right there. He's a great natural heel. You just don't like him just from looking at it, but it works, when you boo against him, but at the same time, you're like, God damn, that guy's good. Like, he's really, really good. And I think he's going to go down in history as one of the guys that has picked it up the quickest, alongside some of the greats that, like Kurt, like Brock, so like some of these guys who just picked it up like really, really fast and are just really good naturally at it. I think he's just, everything he does is like really crisp and clean. All of his transitions are good. Yeah, he's got the athleticism. He's got the selling. He does all the typical like heel things that you don't like. I like the fact that he's just completely brought back the William Regal power of the punch as like his go-to finish. Like, the brass knuckles are like his thing again, We're like, oh, he gave Michael Cole the brass knuckles to keep, but he just got another pair from one of his companies. It's such a heel thing of just like, I just said I wasn't going to use those. I didn't say I wasn't going to use any at all. It's just like,
when he's getting pat down and they find brass knuckles, he goes, hey, these aren't my pants. All right.
Yeah, I know. He's just his thing. He's gonna have them just all over the place. Just keep that's gonna be his go. It's like Triple H's sledgehammer. It's just always there, no matter what. Every show he's got some laying around somewhere. But that was great. At least this time it was one of the guys from his podcast, so that at least made sense.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of knew who it was. But no, that was all great. Michael Cole freaking out about it was fun. But yeah, good spots. The Cody Cutter under the announce table where he jumped off the barricade, that was fun. Obviously the frog splash was great. It was perfect, spot on. He nailed it. That drone shot they did before he did it was pretty awesome. I saw that going around on Twitter, after it happened for a little while, just being like, aren't we glad? Does anybody miss Kevin Dunn? Okay, yeah, just moving on. No, we don't miss him at all. Great. Yeah, we're all in consensus on that. We don't miss 20 camera cuts, every 5 seconds. No, not at all. Great stuff. Cody obviously, retains. It's the right thing to do. They were into him. But yeah, this was a really good, just kind of, WWE main event. But yeah, Logan, I don't care if he wins, loses, whatever. Like, he's still going to be an attraction, I think, because he probably won't wrestle again till SummerSlam. Like, that's most likely. He'll be off the next few shows. He'll come back and do a build for whoever he's working, in Cleveland. So that's fine. He can just be that guy that pops up for. He'll pop up and do 5 or 6 matches a year, and I'm totally fine with that. So yeah, it works for me.
Yeah. I'm going to dispute that with I think.
Actually, I know what you're
going to say. Wins Money in the Bank this year.
Okay, all right.
I think Logan Paul is your Money in the Bank winner.
It's possible. But also, the match is great. Like Logan Paul's natural. I love that how he just he clearly like watches like people like Hangman Page as well, just with the shot lariat and then some other moves he does let them in. But he kind of. And he's just crisp. He gets his heel work. I like the back and forth he had with Michael Cole. It kind of maybe, I don't know. I'm probably looking into things, but like it'd be cool because Triple H does follow up on things unlike other people. So it's Corey's first match back because he's cleared. Does he have a mini feud with Logan Paul? I don't know. There was some weird things there. So I don't know. I don't expect for Corey Graves to be the one to beat Logan Paul, but it'd be an interesting sort of dynamic.
Yeah, but isn't Corey a heel announcer? That doesn't make any sense.
No, but like he's not really now. I don't know where he stands. He's like a play-by-play.
And now that he's the lead on SmackDown, I don't know.
That's odd. Yeah, he's the play-by-play guy on SmackDown, so that's strange.
Yeah. So I don't know where he's like stands, or whether maybe he wants to wrestle, so they're shifting him out of that role. But yeah, it's just interesting. I feel like there was just some I just think there's more something to that. I don't know if it's just going to be like one little kind of maybe mention on TV, but like I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't expect like Corey's not going to be like, oh this Corey Graves is going to be the one to beat no Logan Paul. No, he shouldn't be. But it'd be just interesting kind of one-off match sort of thing. But yeah,
I also thought it was funny how he was directly in front of Michael Cole, and then instead of just taking a step to the right, he goes all the way around to the other side of the table so Corey can stop him. I'm like, why didn't you just reach across and grab him? Like you're close enough. Just grab him.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good shout for Logan Paul when Money in the Bank. But like, I think the SummerSlam match with LA Knight could still happen because they've teased that, and I think it's just a natural thing. Like they both got really similar type of gimmicks here. I think crowd wants to see that, and I could see LA Knight's a guy I could see maybe taking it from him. So but yeah, it was good. It was a really good match. I don't like the finish necessarily. Like what was it like? Some announcer dude, like someone. I don't know what his.
Another outside interference in a championship match.
But I don't know, that like he just shows up in Saudi shows.
They just mentioned that he was like, I think briefly I heard that he's like some comedian, like stand-up comic or something, or some TV personality, like actor, comedian guy or something. I don't know.
Like he's not going to be factored into anything. It felt like a finish that the Saudis wanted, almost. It was just like, hey, we want this guy to get involved somehow. Because it was just weird and random. But like, why is he getting? Why does he care? But but beyond that, it was all right. Yeah, I just didn't like the finish.
Yeah, but overall, I thought this was a pretty decent show. So as we usually do, we can go around, give this a score out of 10. I'm at that like 7 to a 7.5 range. Like I think it's a really good, solid, B pay-per-view. I'm not going to call it a premium live event. It's B pay-per-view. But I think we had some fun with the triple threat, and then the final two matches, the King of the Ring final and the WWE title match, were really good. But the other two women's matches I thought were just fine. That kind of brings it down just a little bit. So I think I'll settle like a 7.5 out of 10. Pez?
I'm the same way, like 7.5, because you had a really good crowd, which enhanced a lot of stuff. Again, I'm not opposed to them going overseas and doing these B pay-per-views, over to make them feel more grand, more epic with these crowds. Like I think that's helping generate interest in some of these matches. And yeah, you had like the Intercontinental match was a lot of fun and different from everything else on the show. And then the Gunther match and the Cody match were both excellent. But yeah, the other matches were kind of there, but not bad, just kind of there. They serve their purpose and whatnot. But overall still a pretty entertaining show. So I'm in that kind of 7 range, something like that. But I'm still, they're still hot. All the storylines are good. All the workers they have are very good. It says a lot when I think somebody showed a graphic the other day how many people are out with injuries or whatever right now, and they still have a lot of really good talent on their roster. It shows right now that you got guys like Seth that are out, and Rhea's out, and Becky's going to be out for a little while, and whoever else is out,
and like people who are on TV but can't wrestle, like Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, just other people who are like just kind of in and around but not wrestling right now, but they still CM Punk, obviously, all these people who are kind of out, but they're still around and doing things and still progressing, storylines and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, they still have a really solid roster, and they're starting to push some younger people. So I dig it. You got up and comers like Ilya and hopefully Dijak. They need to push Dijak more. That guy's fucking awesome. Well, they really need to push that.
apparently he's another guy's contract's coming up soon, so hopefully they resign.
I hope so because I think he's great. But yeah, again, good solid show. Just a good solid show.
Richie?
Yeah, nothing like sort of blowaway or anything like that. But like like it's not. Well, I don't hope for blowaway shows every time. I at the very least I want a good show, and that's what I got. So yeah, no, the women's matches, like they weren't bad. They were just there. I just think in the Becky Lynch matches there's miscues, but they're fine. But yeah, and the tag match is fine. And yeah, but yeah, and Nia, it was all right. So yeah, a good solid show. Yeah, like I no longer like there was a time where I was almost like the Saudi shows are the ones I would like think about skipping because I'm like they never really mean much, and they're not really good great matches, and they don't really. But yeah, but now I'm like okay, they seem more important and they have good matches. So
and they had a lot of Saudi shows where the crowd just sat on their hands and was sucked too.
Yeah, and they'd bring in like people past their prime just because.
But now it's like I think the crowd is a little more re-energized with this new era, and I think that was also they started doing the shows in like 2018, 2019 when WWE kind of sucked, so it was just like the crowd was dead for a lot of stuff and just nothing happening.
But yeah, and then you have that Saudi show, Undertaker and Kane versus Triple H.
Oh my god,
that was like one of the saddest matches I've ever seen. So I'm like, so yeah, but like these shows are fine now. I don't consider them like proper pay-per-views. I won't say PLE either because I don't know, just like change.
It just sounds weird. I just call it pay-per-view.
It sounds weird. So yeah, I looking forward to looking forward to Crown Jewel. I think that they'll be having
I look forward to all their pay-per-views now. They've all been kind of special.
They're really good because it feels fresh too. Because they also know that it's healthy also to go. Like I feel like the end. I don't know if I've noticed this recently just by watching other TV, watching Raw and SmackDown. I don't know if I've noticed just by watching Raw and SmackDown and etc. I feel the energy of the crowds internationally has maybe bolstered the energy of the crowds in Raw and SmackDown. I feel like that they'll be more hotter, but also the product's hotter. But still, I just feel like it's just been interesting. I feel like, you're going to have your dead crowds now and again, but at one point in like 2019, it felt like every week, and it was like, man, this is Whereas now it's like it's cool.
JPO, you're just in time to give your final thoughts on King and Queen of the Ring. Go.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So match by match. I thought it was a fun enough King and Queen of the Ring here. I enjoy the King and Queens that we got here. Obviously we knew how the main event would end, but it was a good main event regardless. So still pretty watchable, fun show. They need to do more matches.
But more than 5 matches for a premium.
Yeah, 5's not a pay-per-view. It's not. Stop it.
No, it's not. It's a premium live event.
Is that it? Is that the loophole now?
They don't have to do
less
8 matches anymore.
The big 4, you get more than 5 matches, but these PLEs, you just get 5. That's all you get. Yeah, and 5 in a good crowd.
But if you want, more matches, you just go to Double or Nothing.
Jump over to Double or Nothing.
Yeah, but then they need to do less. Someone need to find a middle.
It was double. They had double the matches, and only
more than that if you include the pre-show. They had a dozen. They had 12 matches if you include 0.
I'm including the pre-show match for King of the Ring too, which is it's 6 and 12. Yeah,
that random match, by the way. Why that match was on the pre-show, I don't know.
Because anytime there's an overseas show, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae are going to get
a lose on the pre-show
title match.
I guess it's basically just to make Jade look good again.
Yeah. So at Crown Jewel, or Clash at the Castle, Bash in Berlin, on the pre-show, you will get a women's tag team title match between whoever the champions are, and Candice LeRae.
Candice and Indy.
Yeah,
And they will
what I feel
definitely
like?
lose.
You know what I feel like the crossover with Double or Nothing King of the Ring is as well? It's about 5 matches on Double or Nothing worth talking about out of the 12. So, it's about the same. I feel like there was a lot of forgettable shit you could have had on Dynamite or Collision on this show. And shorten it up a little bit. I feel like there was at least 2 or 3 I could point out that could have been on a Dynamite main event or something. I don't know. I just didn't need to be on the pay-per-view. That's all. You could have shortened this bad boy up by at least an hour.
yeah, no, but we did only get 2 matches on the 0 hour.
Only 2. See, they're
Only
calming
2.
down.
They're calling down. Usually it's 3 or 4.
Wasn't there one we watched where there was like 5 pre-show matches? I swear there was one of them. Yeah, there was.
It was Forbidden Door. Like,
yeah,
years ago.
oh my god,
they're cramming so much into it. Yeah,
I'll look that up. But yeah, I swear it was last year's Forbidden Door. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I thought we kicked off the pre-show here pretty well with Deonna Purrazzo and Thunder Rosa. I thought they made the most of the 10 minutes that they were given. I was watching it though while Pez and I were ending our podcast, and so I wasn't like watching it with any sound, so it was kind of muted. And I looked up and I was like, oh, okay, cool. That was a good spot. Then I looked back down and we're talking. And then I looked back up and Deonna Purrazzo celebrating on the ramp. And I was like, oh, that was the finish. Okay. So like, I kind of wish they were given a few more minutes. But again, I think they made the most of the 10 minutes that they were given. I think you've got 2 really talented women here. And one that I thought could have gone either way because I think they were both kind of, they showed it when they were introducing Thunder Rosa was, I think, 15-1 or something like that, and Deonna Purrazzo was 13-2. So yeah, it was a, 2 pretty hot wrestlers going in. And JPO, since you're here now, I'll go to you first. What did you think of?
By the way, can confirm Forbidden Door 2023. 14 total matches, 5 pre-show, 9 main matches.
14.
Right.
That was a long one.
Yeah, they jam those out sometimes.
Yeah.
If I remember we going, we're doing our predictions, and then you're like, I actually got this match.
You kept throwing them into the chat that night where they kept announcing shit the day of.
One more.
Like, damn it. Another one.
I think Jacob said it kind of perfectly. This is a pretty good match, and one kudos over WWE. It was a hard one to predict because they were both kind of evenly keeled, as in coming off losses to the champion, and it was really just a matter of who are they looking to maybe push a little bit more now, because they were both kind of like even on the even spectrum. So yeah, it was a good match here. Yeah, I think 10's about perfect here again because it is a pre-show. You don't really necessarily need to go too ham, and no, I thought it was kind of a perfect pre-show.
Yeah,
match.
Pez.
Didn't see it. I was picking a pizza.
That's right. I should have remembered that because we were talking.
Didn't bother to go back and watch. I didn't care.
Right.
So
it's decent.
That was the one prediction I got wrong. Anyways, I was the only one who said I feel like it's been a while since Thunder won anything, but okay. I guess we're just gonna beat her again. All right. Remember when she was champion for like a long time? Yeah, Pepper Troy remembers.
I mean, Deanna's also a pretty hot prospect too, and also you don't watch Dynamite and Rampage, so no, she has one stuff. I think.
Oh, okay, cool. When was the last time you won on pay-per-view?
Okay, when was the last time Deanna's won on pay-per-view?
I don't care.
Okay, I don't care about Thunder then. Like, I think Deanna's a better wrestler.
Richie, what did you think of the women's match here?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Yeah, I think they're pretty evenly matched. I'm guessing that I liked that. I'm sure she's come out with it before, but I don't catch Dynamite as regularly as I used to. But like when she came out with the sunglasses, it looks kind of badass with the face paint. I don't know. I just like.
She was Elvis, wasn't she?
Huh?
Wasn't she Elvis?
Yeah. I guess that's supposed to be that.
She was definitely cosplaying as Elvis. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough. But obviously, given the finish, given Deonna cheated, this feud must go on. So I'm thinking it'll probably be in the next pre-show.
All right. Then we move on to our next pre-show match where the Acclaimed Max Caster, Anthony Bowens, and Daddy Ass defeated the Cage of Agony, Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan.
Jacob. Yeah. Richie. Richie.
I can never get the.
All right. Everyone. Sorry.
I have to remember. It's the opposite way.
I know. I gotta go over this way.
I'm trying to find the G spot.
Is this after? I mean,
remember to curl your fingers. All right, that's all I'm saying.
I guess like just before that we had like. I just want to brief mention that. Was it when was this before Tony Khan came? This was like after Tony Khan came out and said, "Oh yeah, the Owen Hart Tournament Cup is going to be, the winner of the Owen Hart Tournament is going to be, going to wrestle for a championship. Going to be for a championship at all in and all out." So it made me think of two things because all in. I mean, Will Ospreay just going to win that again, and two, I don't know. I mentioned this before you came on. I'm like, Tony Khan took half an hour to make this announcement, and I feel like he was drunk. that's
just his personality. I think. But no, I mean, jumping ahead, Ospreay doesn't necessarily need the Owen Cup because Ospreay's already getting a title shot.
We talked about that. Yeah, how they're pulling the trigger on that match. I feel like we all feel like way too damn early.
Yeah, I know, but is he just going to win the win this tournament again as well?
Yeah.
Well, that's the rematch, but then just save it for the first time. That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Because I assume it's going to be someone British, but maybe the women ones is like I could see it being who's Tony's sidekick.
Mariah May. Am I get it?
Yeah, she's British.
I don't think that's a big enough. I don't think that's a big enough match.
Jamie Hayter. Is she scheduled to come back yet?
That could be big.
I just think it'll be someone British. Just in my head.
No, I mean that's a solid thing to think about. I just don't think Mariah's a big enough name, but maybe in the UK.
But also Tony Storm's big in the UK, so she might not necessarily get booed. Anyway.
Yeah. And then we move on to the Acclaimed versus defeating Age of Agony. And
get back to that.
It was all right.
Do we need to talk about this, or we're an hour and 36 minutes, and we got 12 matches to talk about? Let's skip this.
I'll just say real quick, similar to Trent and Chuck later on, I picked the wrong team because I thought maybe for once the other people might win and get a win. So oopsies.
Yeah. I'll just say that Max Caster, he seems like I don't know if he's just going to this for himself, but he kind of weird promo where he's like, "I'm the best wrestler alive. I'm the best wrestler," and I'm like, okay. He just seems a bit weird, and then when he wrestled, he was the one that looked the most sloppy. He had a lot of miscommunication spots.
He legally owns that. He legally owns the trademark "Best Wrestler Alive."
Okay,
so maybe he's trying to sell that. Yeah,
that's unfortunate because he had a lot of mistimed spots. I don't even think you're the best wrestler in your faction.
That might still be Billy Gunn.
I feel like it's probably Anthony, but yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Man,
it's whatever.
It was fine. So it was an okay pre-show match. But then, thankfully, we kicked off the pay-per-view with a bang. Not the Bang Bang Gang, but
what would be a 4-hour and 40-minute pay-per-view.
Yes, with a really great match between Will Ospreay and Roderick Strong. Will Ospreay defeating Roddy to become the AEW International Champion. I think most of us watched this together. Yeah, this was a great way to kick off the show, the main show. So, Pez, what are your thoughts on Roddy? And
looking back on the pay-per-view, best match on the show. I thought this match was freaking awesome.
Oh,
yeah, because this is the one I'm going to go back and watch more times in the future, because goddamn, this was good. Because man, these guys not only beat the hell out of each other, Roddy chopped the shit out of Will in this match. Will was throwing his own. It was great. Some of their counters and stuff that Will was like flying around. Roddy was a great base. Like they were doing these lucha spots that while we were watching, we were like, "Oh goddamn, what?" He's flipping all over the place, doing great dives. I thought it had good drama, even with the stuff at the end with Don Callis and the Tiger Driver stuff, and like just super hard hitting. It's exactly what we thought it was. I thought this was Roddy's best match he's had in AEW, like pretty easily. I like his character right now, and like him just going back to being the Messiah, the backbreaker is great. There was some legitimately great false finishes where you almost kind of thought Roddy could beat him. There's some really, really good ones here. But damn, this match was awesome. I thought this was, looking back on, I mean, there was some other really, really good matches on this show, but this might have been my favorite match like that happened all night.
Yeah, Richie.
Yeah, I mean, Roderick should have won this match. Then I would have won predictions, but because I was the only one that went out. But it was a really good match. Yeah. I mean, it was expected to be a good match.
We still beat you. I still beat everybody by 2. So even if you got that one, you still would have lost.
I don't let facts get away with a good story. Anyway, yeah, it was a really good match. Yeah. I don't know much to say about that, but yeah, it was a really good match. I thought, didn't know if they were going to put the title on Ospreay this soon, but it's, I don't hate that they did. It's really, really, really great back and forth here. I'm really liking what Roddy's been doing, I even like how they handled the interference thing, where Wardlow goes for a powerbomb on Ospreay, and the ref immediately catches him. Like that was kind of fun. But yeah, and the fact that at the start he goes to the hidden blade straight away. I thought that I thought the actual setup of the match was actually very good. I thought Don Callis was a great heel on commentary as usual. Really good match. Really solid, and Ospreay is, I think, I don't know, best in the world in my opinion.
JPL.
Yeah, no, I'm all second or even third at this point. I didn't think about it, but looking back, match of the night. Great opener. I think we all even kind of agreed. Well, we didn't really give it much thought. Like, kind of a perfect opener. Good heel face dynamic. I can throw out a killer match here. Kind of unfortunate. I think Roderick's title reign wasn't as good as I kind of hoped it would be. He kind of cooled very quickly after winning the title. I had a decent match with Kyle O'Reilly, but I kind of thought there would be more in Roddy's reign. But hey, he'll have this match, and this is a really good one. Mm-hmm. So kind of interesting that Ospreay has a title now, because again, I feel like we all kind of thought all in, but they're definitely playing around with that strategy. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm at least intrigued and curious as to what they're going to do with Ospreay and Swerve, because I think someone's momentum could get derailed way too soon, at least much more sooner than it should. The match is going to be great, obviously, but it's too soon. Save it 2 more months or whatever it is. But really, really good opener. Probably, I think this might be the best opening match in quite some time. Because I'm in agreement. Match of the night. This is my favorite match of the night. Might be my favorite match of the weekend. But we then Roddy loses, and Adam Cole decides he's going to come out and cut a promo instead of being with this guy, comforting him after a loss. And why is that? Because MJF has returned to AEW and cut way too long of a promo on a pay-per-view.
I thought
I thought the promo was good, but I'm just not one of those I unless it's a planned segment, kind of like how the Grayson Waller effect was for Elimination Chamber, whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of 15-minute promo segments on the pay-per-view. Like I'm paying for the wrestling. Give me the wrestling. It's already, a 4.5 hour show. I guess the only reason MJF wanted to do it on pay-per-view was so he could drop an F-bomb and not get in trouble.
They're not releasing him.
Right. And he name dropped Vince McMahon and whatever. But no, I have come over on MJF. I think his later into his championship reign, like I guess I don't know. Like obviously he does really good work as a heel, but I think I preferred him when he was leaning more into being a face. But yeah, I thought the segment just went on a little bit too long for a pay-per-view, but that's just my opinion. Richie, what are your thoughts on the segment, real quick?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It might have made it too obvious that someone was coming out, given that it's always obvious when someone comes out and does a "you people" promo. You people, no, you suck. You guys suck. I don't like this town, kind of thing. But yeah, beyond that, like the intro, the whole presentation was good, and basically he's not going to be this. I guess it's still going to be a babyface, but you're not going to have more edge to him. Not going to be this sort of comedy character. Not going to do kangaroo kicks. Interesting that he hit Cole the Brainbuster. That's a random move to hit, but yeah, I guess that's like a move. It's sort of safe move he can have because I read that they kind of did that segment because obviously eventually they're probably going to do Cole versus MJF at some point, but Cole's not nowhere near ready to come back yet, so they're just sort of putting a pin on that for now. So it was a great segment. So I have no issue.
How badly did he hurt his foot that he's?
I know, just for jumping off the building today.
But JPO, your thoughts on the segment?
Yeah, I know. If you watched it live, our buddy Chris Cass thought it went a little bit long. It was a little bit of repetitiveness to it. He could have maybe shortened it a little bit here, but I think he was having fun. And also, too, I do get your logic of, we do kind of come for the wrestling as long as it is, but MJF's a big enough guy. He's our world champion, 5-6 months ago. So it's cool to see him back. Cole kind of looked a little bit too much like a bitch. That he should just went to fisticuffs instead of him be like, friends again. No, I'm happy to see him back. The tattoo thing was kind of cool. I like F-bombs. That's cool. So happy to see my scumbag is back. I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I'm not mad that he returned on pay-per-view. It's just
no, I get it.
Keep the promo a little bit shorter.
Yeah, no, yeah, it could have been trimmed. Yeah, no, that I agree with 100. I'm just saying I do see why it belongs on.
Yeah,
it's a big enough return. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, no, the return absolutely. But Pez.
Yeah, it was really shocking to see Triple H come out, cut this promo. Oh, wait, that wasn't Triple H wearing the leather jacket with the denim vest on top of it? Oh, okay. No, clearly a kind of nod to him for sure. And I guess appropriate for him to kind of send a message being like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying here, which is, I guess, fine. But that really screws up my WrestleMania prediction. That he's officially, he's going to be there for a while. I predicted he would be in WWE by then. But no, good promo, a little long-winded. There was one or two spots where I thought he could have wrapped it up and he kind of kept going, but still, crowd was happy to see him again, and he, injects some kind of life, back into the main event scene. So it's all right.
Yeah. And I will say, perfect tattoo placement, because if he ever does decide to go to WWE, the boots are just going to cover it anyway.
Yeah, forget I ever had that.
Yeah,
I always say there's room in the left ankle for on second thought.
I forgot what the tattoo said exactly, but yeah, you can play with it. But then we get to our second match of the main show: the Bang Bang Gang defeating Death Triangle for the Unified World Trios Championship, and this one, the return of Juice Robinson. Yeah, another. I thought this one was decent. I thought this one was fine. I thought we had 6 really good workers here, so I thought we got a really good 6-man tag. I don't think there's anything to write home about, but I like the action. I like the return, and it was cool to see Death Triangle competing as a team for the first time in what feels like a decade. It hasn't been that long because the AEW hasn't been around that long, but it's just been a really long time since the 3 of them have competed as a team. So that was really cool to see. Pez, what were your thoughts on the 6-man tag?
It was a really fun Collision match. That should have been on Collision. This is easily 12 minutes you could have had on a Dynamite or Collision, I thought. Like, again, it was fun. There's nothing wrong with it, but I didn't see why this needed to be on the pay-per-view. Like, personally. Just my thoughts. Because like, at the end, I kind of forgot what happened during this match other than Juice for coming back. So, there's a lot of fun spots, them doing a lot of good stuff. I like the Lucha Bros. I like what they do. It's nice to see Jay White finally get promoted back to pay-per-view, instead of the pre-show. So that was, hey, remember when he faced MJF? Like 6 months ago. Anyway, yeah, we remember. But no, I mean, I think you could have had this as like a Collision main. It would have been just as good, and you could have even given it more time if it was on there. You could have given it 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and they could have had a lot of fun with it. So I'm just saying, I'm just going to point out the ones that I thought along the way that could have been. You could have pulled off of here and kept the show to 4 hours instead of 4 hours and 45 minutes or whatever it was.
Right. I mean, if we're all in if the thought is they have too many matches, and then you look at the card going down. Like I might be in agreement.
I'm just saying this one. There's another obvious one, and then maybe one other one I'll point out. You probably could have all had on either Dynamite or Collision or something, and they would have been perfectly fine.
And again, not that they're bad matches, but yeah, it does.
Yeah, no, I'm not crapping on the match or the work rate. I'm just saying,
Right.
like, pay-per-view quality, they didn't need to be here, or for even storyline purposes, some of these did not need to be on pay-per-view. That's all.
JPO, your thoughts on the 6-man?
Yeah, just to kind of reiterate, Joel. I just looked at the card, and there'll be 2 matches nominated as what could have been Dynamite or Collision. This is one of them. So I am in agreement that if you had to chop 1 or 2 off, this is probably in the top 2. And again, not in a bad way. If this was still a good match here, just as you said, 10 matches, 4+ hours. Yeah, this is one you could nominate as, could have saved it for later. Because again, kind of quickly built up to as well. Cool seeing that triangle back together again. I just looked. It's been over a year. It's been since that Best of 7 series back in early last year that we saw them together. So,
yeah. Richie?
Yeah, I think I like that at ate up time as well. It's just like for some reason, except for like the opening match, every match had like a video package attached to it, like explaining the feud. Which I didn't believe that this match particular needed a video package, considering it was only made last week. I don't know.
I think that's save those for the 0 hour, unless you're cleaning up the ring. You know what I mean? Save it for the 0 hour. Save us some time, because most likely, if you're dropping $50, you kind of have an idea of what's up anyway.
Yeah.
But like, you put those in the 0 hour, but it doesn't like need a whole thing. It's just like it was. I thought it was just a match to obviously. I know now it's a match so they can put Juice Robinson to turn on pay-per-view. But yeah, you could have done it on Collision. Juice Robinson's not that.
I know I said I'm done, but I'm not done. 2 more points. No, I did look too. This one's 12 minutes. It's actually the shortest match of the night. So everything was given over double digits, which definitely adds up to the time. Yeah. And I also just want to say I am excited for Juice as well.
Yeah. And while I thought it was good, I thought it sort of ended while it was just getting hot, and then it's like, oh, okay, Juice is back, and then the Blade Runner end. All right, cool. That's good. Gotten more time on Collision, and
put it on Collision, you could have 20 minutes and made the Juice thing a big way to end the show. Like I thought, like a big return or something. I don't know, just he's not MJF coming back. Juice Robinson.
Right? Yeah, no, this would be a main event of a Collision or first match of a Collision.
Like that.
Yeah. Our next match was for the AEW Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm defeating Serena Deeb. And the only thing I remember from this match is there were a few spots where I was like, why are they doing that? where they were like doing the thing where they, reverse. Like I didn't need 2 spots of them doing reversals like 5 times in a row. Like I don't know. Like it was like we're deep into the match. Just let's get to the finish. But I think Serena Deeb is a really good worker. I think Toni Storm is incredible. I don't want her to lose the title anytime soon. I thought they did, build a little bit of tension there with Mariah May possibly throwing the towel in, and then Toni Storm thinking it was Luther and throwing the towel into the crowd. I thought that was a good spot. But yeah, I thought the match was fine. I wasn't blown away by the match, but again, I love Toni Storm's character work. That I'm just gonna love anything she does, regardless of who her opponent is. Thankfully, she had a really good opponent because when the action was good, the action was really good. But yeah, there were just a few spots where I was like, that's an odd spot to have like right now.
Hey, JPO, you watched Dynamite. Was there a follow up to the throwing in the towel thing, or no?
No, right? I didn't see a single thing about that. No,
because I was just gonna say if there wasn't like. Sometimes they'll argue about that, like, why did you do that thing on the pay-per-view? And it'd be like, you could just go back and watch the show and see that I wasn't the one who did that, right? I feel like there's always like outrage, but then it's like, you can just go watch the tape and see that, you were misunderstood.
Dynamite was pretty promo heavy, but I'm trying to think if there's anything involving Toni. I don't think I saw Toni.
Or a tag partner accidentally hitting and all this. He's like, hey, what did you do that for?
You could go watch the tape and see that I didn't actually do that.
I don't know. Storyline wise, Toni is stuck in like the 40s, so she doesn't know what pay-per-view is. What's a YouTube?
What's a flat screen television to watch my TV
on?
What?
She thinks it airs once black and white on CBS, and then the footage is
lost. Color televisions now?
What's television?
She listened to the recaps on AM radio.
She listened to like in Cinderella Man, they're like listening to the boxing match on the radio. That's how she listens to the pay-per-view. And now next we have our next feature match.
And Mariah, it was you.
I used to do that growing up when you could listen to the pay-per-view because it would be blurred because my parents weren't always spending $50. So I just sit there and listen. Who's winning?
I wonder. Or you remember we watched some of those WCW pay-per-views from like 2000, and it had like the internet like play-by-play, just the audio of like the show that you can listen to a couple of times. Like they flashed to like Mark Madden and somebody else doing like a internet who was it? Jeremy Borash was like doing the internet like play-by-play that you could tune into on the internet on the World Wide Web and just listen to him do play-by-play. That was weird, right? That was a thing.
But JPO, your thoughts on the women's championship match?
Yeah, no, this is it's a good match here. At least this one was kind of built up, even though there's a little bit of wonky build because I think they kind of tried course correcting it to making Deeb a little more heelish last week. So I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I didn't really have much faith that Toni was losing, but still enjoyed it. I think it was a good match.
Richie?
Yeah, I thought it was a decent match, but it's unfortunate. I think just because of the heel face dynamic, because I don't think it's unfortunate because I think Serena Deeb's good enough to get over, but the crowd didn't really give a shit about it necessarily just because of how over Toni Storm is. So it was like hey, you're all right, but we don't want you to win. So that was weird, but the match was good. It just maybe lacked a bit of heat because of that. They appreciate. It was more about like Toni Storm's character work, heel work, than it was like, hey, these women are having a really solid match. But it was a solid match. But I'm just looking. I'm curious as to who's going to actually the one to beat Toni Storm. So because I don't see anybody on the horizon, but she makes sense because I think Toni Storm just maybe in terms of character work. Is hidden above everybody else at the moment. So,
Pez.
I mean, if we ever get people off the injured shelf, Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter.
Jacob, were you still with us when this match came on? Like, what match did you leave? I can't remember.
I think I left.
Friend, Jacob.
I think it was after this match.
Okay, because I think I asked you during this match because Serena came out and was still like hugging kids in the crowd and like putting flags on. And I go, is Serena a heel or a face in this match, Jacob?
Yes.
So because she was supposed to be like, and then during the match she was like a total heel, and the crowd was completely 100% behind Tony. And it was again weird dynamics because the crowd does not want to boo Tony, no matter what they kind of book her as. They're totally into her, and it just makes it challenging for anybody facing her. But the match was a little choppy to start. I thought the finishing stuff was good. The super pile driver was really scary that she gave her, and then gave her another one right after that. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay, all right, guess it's the finish. But I mean, her matches are fun for what they are. It's mostly character stuff that I like, but it was good, but not like amazing. I thought the women's match later, I think, had about 10 times the amount of heat, and a little more drama, obviously.
Yeah, I agree with that. Up next, we had probably another match that I would nominate for being on Dynamite or Rampage or Collision. Orange Cassidy.
Gee, you think?
Given the ending, yes. I was like, oh, okay, this will be
given everything.
And is this the first time that we've all predicted a winner and got it wrong? It was a clean sweep, and we all
in the opposite direction. We were all like, well, surely Orange won the first match, so Trent will win this other regular match, right?
Yeah.
Nope. Not at all.
So it's the one time I go against Orange Cassidy and I get it wrong.
Yeah.
But
we all should have known.
Right. This was a fine Dynamite worthy match. Richie?
Yeah. It's just to set up an angle on Dynamite where he joins the Callis family. I mean, that's almost obvious because it's like you can't see Orange Cassidy joining Don Callis. That's fucking stupid. But look, it was a match. It was like these guys are obviously really good wrestlers who could capable of putting on a really, really good match, and they were never able to get out of first gear. I feel like it was like, it was there, then it was over, and I was like, what? He lost? Okay. And then it was just made a point, hey, you're losing a lot. And he's like, yeah, I'm out over this. I'm like, yeah, you just made him a heel. He's supposed to be this new, going to give it this new, fresh, boost, and then he's back to where he was. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I didn't like this at all. This is probably should be. I would argue this should be this could be main event on Rampage. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Oh no, Richie threw out Rampage.
Well, I mean, that's all we have now since we don't have Dark or Dark Elevation anymore. So, Rampage is like the new Dark, the one that like the redheaded stepchild of the 3 TV shows.
Now there is dark matches that nobody sees. If you're wondering where Colt Cabana and Britton Cutler are, that's where they are.
Oh, okay. Ring of Honor. Yeah. Why aren't they just in Ring of Honor? Colt Cabana is a Ring of Honor veteran. He should just be in Ring of Honor.
They throw him in there too sometimes, but AEW wise, that's pretty much the only time they get spots.
I was implying that they are AEW dark matches.
No, this is 100% the other. At least there was at least 2 that you could say definitively. I could maybe make an argument for a third or fourth one, but this is the other match that you could have easily cut off of here, and especially since it was a regular match, there was no stipulations or anything, nothing like extra to kind of give it that oomph. It was like, I really hate your guts from that first match. I challenge you to a regular rules wrestling match. Like, okay, so why couldn't you do that on Dynamite? Why? I just don't understand that.
Match had stipulations.
Just weird. The whole storyline is weird. I don't know where it's going. Okay, whatever. I think I tuned out most of this match. I kind of checked out even while we were watching it, to be honest. So, I just didn't care. But
JPO?
OMG. Yeah, no, this is easily the vote of this could have been actually skipped. Don't even necessarily do this match. Just skip this match. Because, no, and here's the thing, and that's sad because I love OC. I love Trent. I sat on Trent's lap once. We had a connection. True story. And he was dressed as Santa.
Was it consensual? I
did ask. It was him, and it was all the divas as like Santa Clauses or Mrs. Claus or whatever, or as elves, and everyone was like, "Let me hug up on Naomi. Let me hug up on Eddie Guerrero's daughter." And I was like, I feel weird. Can I just sit on Trent's lap? And Trent was like, "Yeah." So I thought that was less weird than trying to hug up on a diva unnecessarily. Hopefully Trent was okay with it. He walked away all, I didn't even want him to. No. So no, and it's such a weird booking because we had this match. We had this first encounter where Orange gets it kind of in a quick way too. At the time it was like an Orange punch. It was always like kind of a quick, whatever. And then okay, just cool. The evil guy is just even continuing to be evil with Don Callis now. Cool, Don Callis, you got yourself a loser. And I like Trent again, but like storyline wise, why does Don Callis even want this guy?
Didn't even this match, didn't he get like rolled up again real quick or something, and then he threw a hissy fit and rolled away?
Almost a carbon copy. Yeah. Neither match was it a very definitive win. It was just kind of like Orange kind of outsmarted him and got quick and lucky kind of thing. I never felt like the match again is not bad. These two are good wrestlers, but never felt necessarily next gear for me here. This could have been saved. And if this was the first meeting, and that's what I had originally predicted, maybe they'll save it for Double or Nothing, their first ever encounter, I would have been more fine with it. But the fact this was their second, and it's just Orange winning again, I thought this was a really weird decision. And easily the number one vote could have been on a different show.
Yeah. So... Yeah, we're all in agreement on that one.
So you cut those two that we talked about, and you automatically cut 30 minutes from the show. So there you go. 12 plus 13.
Yeah, and because 8's a good number. That's the reason I said.
Because I say that plus entrances, whatever, you know what I mean, the whole shebang. Yeah. So like you do that, that's 30 minutes from the show. You're automatically from 12:45 at night to almost midnight instead of like 1 in the morning.
Because I personally don't want to go too short. I like a nice lengthy event. I like a good 8-match card. That's me, especially if we're paying for it / you're paying for it. I think it's a good number.
Yeah. No,
but even I've done it before.
No, I paid for it, and even I was like, it got to like 12:20 at night, and I was like, Jesus Christ, the show's still fucking going on.
It is, and it is a Sunday too. You're a dude that works, a normal job. You know what I mean? And there's definitely logic of like just a little bit less. We're not saying a lot less. We're not saying 5, but I think 8's a good number.
8's a good number.
I was even getting annoyed at the things that I know that has to be on there because obviously they promote their sponsors. But I'm like, do I need to see the Kevin Hart, Patrick Ewing ad again? I've seen it. I know they have to like do the DraftKings thing.
At least that's quick.
I just want to move on.
At least it's quick. But like you said, cut a couple video packages. Cut a couple of these.
Yeah.
Up next, we had the 3-way FTW rules match for the FTW Championship. Chris Jericho defeating Hook and Katsuyori Shibata with the some more outside interference because it's got to happen on at least one match for an AEW show. And this was the second one. Like we said, we had Juice Robinson earlier. But no, I thought this match was really fun. I loved that instead of thumbtacks, we got dice. I thought that was really fun. I thought this was a really entertaining match. Again, I still don't think that Chris Jericho needs this championship, but whatever. This is like the one point where I'm like, hey, Chris, just be a really good entertainer, be a really good promo, wrestle some good matches. Just don't take championships that you don't need. Like you can be the learning tree without this championship. Like it can happen. But hopefully I am proven wrong. But I enjoyed this match. I thought it was decent. I thought there's some really good spots. Thankfully, Big Bill is still alive, and the legs of the table didn't injure him.
Jesus Christ. That was, you know what that was like? That was like any of you Jackass fans. Like, remember in Jackass number 2 when Johnny got on that rocket to like shoot him off the big red rocket, and the thing malfunctioned and it shot up a piece of rebar and it almost impaled him? Like, that was a real thing. Like, he tells the story. Yeah, like the first time they did it, it like came like a foot away from his ribs. Bill lands on the table and then he goes through it so much that the leg just shot straight up
Yeah.
through the thing. It was like right next to his head. I was like,
Yeah,
that
here's
could have been
Bill.
a disaster.
Here's the legs.
Dude, that could have been a disaster. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That, and it wasn't the only table spot that got
Well,
jacked
yeah,
up.
yeah.
When they tried to do the top rope thing, and they just fell off the table again.
But yeah, there was a death. The Hook went for a Hook hit a Death Valley driver on Shibata, and Jericho's on the table, and the table didn't break. I'm like, oh shit! And then Shibata landed right on his head. And I'm like, oh god! I think there was also a suplex in that match where I think I think it was Hook. He took Hook suplex Jericho, and he landed right on his fucking neck, and near the dice. I went, "Oh God, this is."
I also love when they just started throwing the dice at Jericho too. Like, I thought it was really clever. And
yeah, you ever have one of those thrown at like your eyeball? That could really hurt.
Yeah. Imagine you miss and it goes into the crowd and hits somebody. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
Obviously, at that point, it's not going to be as hard like as somebody throwing it from 3 feet away, but still, like, oh hey, I got a souvenir. No one's
that's
going to
where that's where that 10-minute Excalibur video that they play at the live shows. If you've ever been to a live AEW thing where Excalibur reads 1,000 rules and like all the legal speak. Before the show, and he's like, "Hey, no, he's not responsible for anything happening in the crowd." And blah 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 blah. Like it's just this whole thing he does. So yeah, if you get hit with dice or glass in the Sting match case, right. We're not responsible for that.
Jeez, that spot still. Yeah, that was we were watching it, and some of my friends were, making comments, and I was like, all right, well, let me pull up a Darby Allin falling through some glass, and then you tell me that it doesn't hurt. But Pez, what did you think of the 3-way here?
It was fine. I just don't care about this title. I don't care. Just move on. I wish I would just get rid of this title. You went in a promotion where you already have 95 titles and everybody has one. We don't need another one that means less than every other title on the show. So I just like it was, the table spots were kind of bad and it was kind of sloppy for a little while, and just, I don't know, this goofy Jericho character, I'm just not into it right now. So I could have done without this one too, to be honest.
Which sucks to say, because every time he's reinvented himself and has leaned into a new character, he's always done it really well and it's worked. And this
I'm just not sold. I don't know what this character is yet, or like what the gimmick is. I don't understand what the gimmick is. Like I don't think it's been made clear yet. And now he's like gonna have a new faction with Brian Keith in his faction now. Like, what are we doing? I don't understand that. What's going on? And Brian Keith, by the way,
under the learning tree.
If you're gonna interfere in a match, why wear a mask when there's already no disqualification? It's not like that was stupid.
It's a fucking Tony idea, I'm sure. He loves his lights out masks.
You can interfere in a match with no DQ, and you don't have to wear a mask. Just interfere. I don't know. It's just dumb.
I think Excalibur was like, I never seen that type of mask before. I'm like, really? It looks like an Evil Uno mask. I feel like I thought it was Evil Uno for a brief second. I'm like,
Brian Keith. They need to get a Keith Bryan. We can get a Brian Keith.
Like a David Keith.
Sounds like an ASAP joke.
Yeah, that's right.
But JPO, what did you think of the 3-way?
Wait, Pez, can you show that graphic again?
Oh, you want the same one? Or do you want this one? Or do you want... Oh, all right, I'll tell you. I got one for the when we're 4.5 hours into the show.
Yeah, we'll get there. I think it's not too much more to say. No, I don't mind it. It's kind of a break of pace, which is why I didn't nominate this as one of the two to skip, because at least it breaks up the pace. Like Orange and Trent is just kind of an okay normal singles. We got way better singles. So this was okay, kind of like those other matches. But yeah, I'm definitely in agreement of the real, it being a title match. I definitely don't care who wins in that regard. Like, cool, Hook gets his fake dad's title back, or ooh, Shibata, this great wrestler, gets this weird hardcore title. Jericho keeps it. All right, cool. I liked his promo on Wednesday. I feel like I actually kind of get a little bit more words going if you watch the promo from Wednesday. So I don't hate it, but yeah, I'm not in love with it either. Which is fine.
Yeah. Richie.
Yeah, when the title, NCW title, was implemented in ECW, it was just basically it was a trinket for Taz. It was never meant to be properly defended. It was defended like twice or 3 times, whatever.
Yeah,
but
just him and Sabu had it. Yeah, and that's the only other
it was meant
person.
to be defended. And look, I understand if you want to defend it once or twice in AEW, that's whatever. But like, it's not meant to be an actual title.
No, it makes sense as a heel thing, like $1 million title. And that's what it started out with. It was basically Taz being like, "Here you go, Brian Cage. You can't win a real title, so you got this." Hey. But it somehow became like a thing that people kind of fight for sometimes.
Yeah. But it'd be like, you know how they briefly brought back on NXT for a very brief time. They brought back the $1 million championship. LA Knight had it, and I think Cameron Graham. But it'd be like if like they just brought that in as a normal championship. Like, no, it's just a given belt. It's like who cares?
The key there was it was for one feud and it lasted 2 months, 3 months tops.
Yeah,
this has lasted now 3 years. Whatever.
Yeah, cool. Just have that as just part of that person's character. You don't need to defend the belt. It means nothing. You don't need more
very
belts.
Surprising. If you had told me this title would stick around years later, I would not have believed you.
Yeah, you don't need belts. There's so many belts on this show already.
So many belts.
Yeah. So and like, look, the match was fine, but there was a couple of like really scary spots. The Death Valley Driver spot was very honky. I was like, holy shit, are they all right? But and then like that table spot could have gone really badly and impaled Big Bill. The learning tree things. But I think the problem that I have with the reinvention now, pretty quick, is that like I think it worked. I think part of the reason why the reinvention worked before is that the reinvention with Jericho was followed by a leave of absence. You know what I mean? He'd go away and then come back as something else. Now it just feels like, all right, okay, I'm done with doing that. And now I'm a wizard. And no, I'm not done with that. Now a learning tree. I'm like, what the fuck? It just feels like a dude without identity crisis, as opposed to just changing things up.
And his last couple of things haven't totally worked out. Like they kind of made him a face for a hot second with Sammy again. That didn't totally work, and now we're back to being a heel. And so
yeah. But up next, we had the IWGP World Championship Eliminator match. Had Takeshita won. He would have gotten a title shot. I thought this would have been a perfect way to like set up a rematch for Forbidden Door, personally. But I got this one wrong. Jon Moxley was victorious. Takeshita lost again. I think Takeshita is too good a wrestler to lose as often as he does now. Remember when he beat Omega twice?
You remember?
Wasn't that long ago either. But no, I thought this was a really good match. Yeah, Takeshita dominated most of it, working over the injured Moxley. Jon Moxley has the comeback, and really good match. Probably it might have been like my second or third favorite match of the night. I thought there was some really good action here. But JPO, what did you think of Moxley and Takeshita?
No, I thought this was a good enough match here. Yeah, kind of what I expected. I unfortunately did think Moxley would win, and I didn't want to be right, but I was right. It's weird too because Jim Cornette talked about this recently, where Takeshita has kind of admitted that he's not happy, and people don't know if he's like, is he healing it out, or is he like straight up like, no, seriously, I'm not happy. Which I got a feeling it might be the latter. The way he kind of comes across. So yeah, we could see if maybe he's not long for AEW. We'll see. Because I kind of thought that this guy would be maybe kind of a little bit more on the up, but I think unfortunately with like Okada and everything, I think he kind of got lost in the shuffle again a little bit.
Yeah. Richie.
Yeah, I think it might be the latter as well, just because it feels like he's lost in the shuffle, and also piggybacking off like what happens after that. It's just like it looks like they're teasing dissension between him and Don Callis. So like I guess if they're setting up like, hey, break up, and then like kind of you get frustrated and go, walk off into the sunset sort of thing. And I hope not, because Takeshita is great. His heel work is great. So either he's just coming into his own as a heel. So either he's going to leave or they're turning a baby face, which he really just really getting hot as a heel. So and yes, he should win more. Like I think he'd be like a decent, I think he'd be a decent international champion down the line or a TNT champion. But yeah, he just always loses, which I don't think is stunning his momentum because I think he's one of the best, like the best new stars we've had in the last few years. I think he's fucking great. But yeah, I really think again, the AEW gets too many wrestlers in the fold and be like, oh yeah, that's right, you exist. We'll find something to do later. Yeah. So I don't know. Hell, maybe. You never know. Maybe WWE does something with him. You never know. Maybe WWE picks him up later on. I don't know. But like, yeah, I love Takeshita, and I think he deserves more. But yeah, and this match is fun. But yeah, I don't think it would have hurt Moxley to lose here. But yeah, but it is what it is. Because an entire eliminator shouldn't be on pay per view. I don't like it. Yeah.
I think it's a big enough match, and even will they go with a rematch or not, it's a big enough match. So I think it's semi pay per view worthy.
Yeah. Pez?
No, I mean, it was a really hard-hitting match. Guys beat the hell out of each other, which is what I thought it would do. Like, I love Takeshita's, like, knees are great. Like, he throws great knees and forearms and stuff. And, you know, you always know somebody's going to get their ass kicked when he's in there. And it's fun, and he has a lot of dynamic offense. You know, Moxley's going to just tell him to beat the shit out of him, too. Like, every time he does it, he's just going to take it and do his thing. Yeah, it was good for what it was. Yeah, I think Takeshita, you know, needs to be like one of those upper mid card kind of, you know, heel guys. And yeah, I think like had they not hot shotted Will and Roddy, I thought like Roddy and Takeshita could have like really good program or something like that, you know, especially if he broke away from Callis and, you know, was just like this one man wrecking crew. Like I thought that'd be cool. But yeah, we'll see where they go with this stuff. Yeah, I heard the same thing, JP, about him like not being happy. And yeah, I don't know if that's a work or a shoot or what it is, but you know, guy doesn't smile a lot. But he's also a heel.
It's not it's not a promo as in he's like they're holding me down. It's like I haven't been happy in a long time. Yeah. I haven't been happy in about 2 years. You know, it's like
he's just like I haven't been happy wrestling in a while. Yeah, it seems like more of like a real thing of just like I'm just burned out and just tired of this shit, like that kind of thing. So yeah, I get it. I guess. So
yeah. Up next, we had the barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship between Adam Copeland and Malachi Black. By referee stoppage, Malachi Black would not give up, but he would pass out. So I thought this was an interesting match. I was wondering because I said it in our predictions. Just because there's a steel cage does not mean that other people cannot get involved, because how many times have we seen a steel cage match and interference still happened? I thought it was a really good way. Copeland just goes through the door, goes through one of the sides of the cage, and it falls open. And all right, here's our moment. Out come Brody King and Buddy Matthews. Just when you think Malachi Black's going to win, I think three of us predicted. Out comes Gangrel of all people. Really cool moment. Gangrel coming to the aid of Adam Copeland and helping him defeat Malachi Black. I think it's also worth noting here that he went for an elbow drop off the top of the cage, and instead of falling correctly, he landed right on his foot, and ouch. I watched it, and even in real time, like you could just like that's
you especially can't as a 50-year-old man jump 15 feet straight down off of something on your legs and not hurt something. I know from experience, even just jumping. If you like jump in your house and you're like 38 years old, like I am, you're like, ow, that hurt my knee a little bit. Like just you're a little more fragile. You can't do that.
Adam Cole jumped off the ring, and
he's my age. He's 34.
Yeah. He's been out for what feels like 2 years now.
If Adam had committed to it and just done a full sideways elbow drop, he wouldn't have hurt himself.
Yeah,
like he would have bounced. He would have hit the elbow. Fucking Malachi on the table would have broken his fall. He just would have rolled off. He probably would have been okay. You know, like he chickened out.
Yeah.
He got cold feet. It's like, bro, then you think you're gonna get cold feet, just don't do the spot. or just do it off the top rope. You know, like, you don't have to do it off the top of the cage. Just do it off the top rope. It's fine. Like, we're not going to vault you. You're 50
an elbow drop from a table through a table is still a really cool spot.
It's still a fun spot. Yeah, like it's fine. You know, you don't need to jump off the cage. It's all good. We still love you.
And it was immediately obvious too, because he's like, They really did spots where he wasn't on his feet. So it's like, all right, and he was only on his feet like very briefly. Yeah,
they teased House of Black turning on Malachi Black, but we all knew like, but no, that's not it.
I was like,
and 3, 2,
Judgment Day
1.
2.0,
right? But and then they just attacked
the new brood. New brood.
New brood.
It's a new brood.
New brood 4.0.
Which I thought that was pretty cool that they could even say the brood on the Tron. Like I was like, oh shit, they don't got the copyright.
Yeah,
they had me questioning everything. Oh, you can say the brood. Oh, you can say Gangrel. I thought in Florida he was billed as vampire warrior all over the place. I was like,
I do feel like the last few years he's been just Gangrel, but I always
did he get it back or something?
Under
like
the
I feel like for
radar.
a while, it was vampire warrior.
No, there's definitely because even in TNA they never called him Gangrel. Yeah,
just David Heath.
No, the vampire warrior usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good match. Some decent spots with the cage, with the barbed wire itself. So yeah, I forgot Richie, what did you think of the cage match?
Yeah, I thought it was really good, but yeah, like look, I'm all for high spots, but like make sure you're young enough to do them. And I've been like I'm all for high spots, but also like get maybe not Darby Allin either, but we'll get to that. Yeah, like it was a good match. Maybe I had a different idea what the barbed wire steel cage match would be. Like, that's because like I think the only one I've seen is like Big Show and JBL that time. It was every inch of like the cage is basically barbed wire. You know what I mean? So I had a different idea, but like but like the way they did it, I was fine with. That was fine. That was good. But yeah, the match was really good. But yeah, I don't want to see people like doing spots they're not comfortable doing. Just so and now he's gonna have to get surgery and probably I know he wants to do this thing with Christian, but like hopefully they get to I don't know. I don't want to see him like keep injuring himself, because it's happened quite a few times now, given that he just wants to have this run on his own terms. But his body's like real. I think his body's telling him otherwise. So, but it was good. It was a good match. Really good match.
Pez?
Yeah, no, it was fun and entertaining for what it was. Yeah, them kind of pulling different strands of barbed wire like through the cage and using that stuff. Again, Adam, you could have just jumped to the top rope. If you want to put a little extra pizzazz on it, wrap your arm up in barbed wire and drop an elbow. You know what I mean? Like you still would have got, I feel like the same reaction. Crowd still would have popped for you, and then they would have even forgotten you didn't even jump off the top rope. Like by the time House of Black interferes, by the time Gangrel interferes, like nobody's gonna care like that you didn't jump off the cage. Like it's fine. There's so much else going on. I didn't mind the finish with Black just kind of passing out, and so he didn't technically, tap out or anything like that. But yeah, I guess now that he's hurt, maybe Malachi should have won this match, and you wouldn't have that problem of having to vacate the title and have whatever they're going to do. They'll probably have another mini tournament or something, to crown a new champion, or have another match at Forbidden Door, maybe to crown a champion or something. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad I predicted it right, but looking back on it, Malachi probably should have won most likely.
You can look it up, but I feel like the TNT title is cursed. There's just like, there's a few people who've had the TNT title and been injured.
JPO, get on it. How many times have been vacated?
How many times has vacant and been champion?
Yeah.
or interim. I think Sammy Guevara was an interim champion at one point. But while you're doing that, JP, what were your thoughts on the cage match?
Yeah, so the interim thing screwed up because like technically this is the first vacant because they did the interim thing. So like it kind of the history is a bit askew, but there definitely was those interim times. So this is the first time now that they're past that it's been just truly vacant. No, I enjoyed the match here. As you guys said here, a bit of a whimper in the end because you could even tell before there was even news that like Gangrel, who's another 15 years older, is helping Edge to the back, literally keeping him up. But I popped for the Gangrel spot here. I'm glad they did it here. You know what I mean? There was I just saw Chris Van Vliet say how he wanted to do it at Mania, and the one time, and Vince was like, nobody remembers him. So happy that Gangrel got the spot. He's a great dude. And I did enjoy the match. Yeah, like Paz said here, that's what I was about to say. I kind of wish they just given it to Malachi, because I feel like he could have used it also. And now they need to crown a new champion anyway. And they did follow that up on Wednesday, though. There will be, hey, guess what? No. There's qualifying matches for a ladder match. Actually, that's what it is. So it's like a mini tournament. So it's qualifying matches.
They have
to a ladder match.
Forbidden
Door. There you go. No, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, he said Forbidden Door. So
I hope people in the ladder match have their their bodies are fine enough to be in the ladder match.
I just know. I mean, it's not even that. It's like you guys said, you just gotta kind of maybe know what to do. I'd love to hear Edge's explanation, because it was right away. You could just tell, like,
he had an extra TikTok video where he talked about it.
Did he talk about it already? Okay.
Yeah, it's out there.
I'm just surprised. I'm surprised how all people kind of make it seems like a pretty obvious mistake of just not kind of committing or misjudging or whatever, because that sucks.
Yeah, I did feel like AW going, hey, you didn't give Edge the WrestleMania moment he wanted, because obviously we forgot he came out to Slayer, which he did in WWE, and so it's like, hey, everyone thought that the Gangrel was going to come out there because that was obvious, so we'll give you Gangrel here. So, but yeah,
which might have been the smart move, and it also counteracts the, the numbers games. Yeah, because I was expecting him in the intro, not like midway through the match.
Yeah.
Then we get to our first of our triple main event.
That's right.
We were not going to get started on that. But yeah, no, Mercedes Moné in her in-ring debut for AEW defeated Willow Nightingale for the TBS Championship. And it was at this point that all my stand-up comedian friends were showing up, so I was like half paying attention. What I watched was really good. I thought this was a really good debut match for Mercedes. I think Willow's a really good in-ring worker. It just rankings don't matter. I hope AEW doesn't bring back rankings anymore, because they don't matter, because you can get a title shot in your debut match. Rankings don't matter.
And your debut match for the next match, you can lose the title and get an even bigger title shot. Yeah,
right. But no, I thought this was a pretty good match. And from what I read, it's the longest women's match on pay-per-view. I think I read that somewhere.
Really?
It was clocking in at 18 minutes. I was a little worried that it was going to be given like a 10-minute time limit or something. Not like a time limit, but like that's what they were going to be given, was 10 minutes, given how late it already was when the match started. But no, they were given some time. I thought they told a good story. The aftermath with Willow Nightingale and Chris Statlander, I'm intrigued to see where that goes. Overall, I thought this was pretty good. I don't like the triple main event thing, but I think this was worthy of being called like a featured match, or something like that. So, Pez, what were your thoughts on the
what? All three of these matches didn't go on last? Is that what you're saying?
No.
It wasn't 3 rings. Yeah.
Oh, okay. This was actually really, really good. They kind of lived up to the hype of what they built up to. The kudos to the crowd for still being like really into these last couple of matches, because as much as it was kind of dragging for us watching, I'm sure being there live for 6 hours or whatever it was had to be they had to be tired. But there was a lot of heat for this match. Crowd was pretty split. They were still really into Willow. Mercedes, looked pretty good for what it was. They played Willow like, she was kind of a bigger monster. And they played into that. Really, really good. Mercedes needs a new finish. That finish looked like shit. And it looked like shit when she used it in New Japan also. So either use the bank statement like submission thing, or just find a new finisher. because that looks like shit. It doesn't look good. So other than that, like it was really, really solid. And yeah, and then Will, got turned on at the end too, which, I think we all kind of thought was going to happen. We're like, Stokely Hathaway, he's a heel manager. He's not a babyface manager. Like, get the fuck out of here with that. That dude's got heel manager written all over him. So, no, I mean, they're definitely doing something with that. But yeah, it was a good solid match with some good heat. So yeah, ended up being all right.
JPO?
Yeah, I did this match a lot here. Actually, this kind of surpassed my even expectations to a degree. Not that I had necessarily had low expectations. So happy to see Mercedes back. That was a good match. There's some good back and forth stuff too. Even kind of one of those matches where, 90% of me knew Mercedes was winning, but there's still like moments of maybe Willow, maybe the rematch. But no, Mercedes gets it. She gets off to a hot start here. Some good follow up too. Again on Dynamite here. Good promo by Stokely. He actually gave a really good promo. And then also Chris kind of solidifying that she's doing it for herself now, on her own and whatnot. Everyone looks for her for protection. Now they're gonna have to get protection from her. Haha.
Richie?
Yeah, I thought this match was really good. Yeah, I'm glad like Willow's getting that sort of platform, that big platform to like showcase, what she can do as well. So yeah, that money maker or whatever it is shit. But I've seen her like in like her training videos, like pull it off and it looks good. But like it just seems like when she's
it looked good on Wednesday with Sky Blue. It's just one of those that you gotta get the right size person. Mercedes is a small girl.
Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like a lot of times when she's executed, it hasn't looked. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just like it's just one of those ones where there's like a lot of margin for error. So it's just like one of those ones that just depends on the size. Like I don't know, like you can't just. It's not a finishing move, but you can't do a Spanish fly on every person. Like it's like it's only going to be on small people. So like it's just there's certain moves you can only do to certain people. So yeah, but it was a really good match here, and yeah. I thought maybe that the Chris Statlander thing would probably happen on like a Dynamite thing, but I don't mind it happening here. But because that was obviously that was the obvious way to go. So it'd be interesting to see Chris Statlander as a heel going forward. But yeah, the match is really good. I think Sky Blue is going to be the next sort of challenger, but I guess I don't envision that being a pay per view. I think it's just be a quick TV feud.
No, that's pretty much done already.
Oh really? Oh, is that just a thing?
They fought on Wednesday. I don't see them having she beat her clean.
I haven't watched the thing yet.
Oh, spoilers! How they fought? It's done. I think.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, because I was like when I heard that, that doesn't seem like a pay-per-view match. So,
no, it was kind of surprising. I kind of you would think they'd maybe hype her first Dynamite match, but no. She attacked. She had a celebration. Sky Blue attacked her, and then they set up for later that night.
But yeah, wow. So two matches in a week. Good for you, Mercedes. Up next, we had the AEW World Championship on the line. Swerve Strickland defeating Christian Cage. Again, I thought this was a really solid match. Christian is still a good worker. Given his age, he's a really good worker. Again, I don't think the winner was ever in doubt. Christian seemed like an odd, first pay-per-view challenger for Swerve, but I think the match we got was decent. Again, I'm tired of multiple matches on a card having outside interference. Like, it made sense, I think, in the Malachi Black match, obviously. But like, you don't need outside interference in like a third of your card. It just it does not need to be a thing.
You would have been driven bonkers by 2000s WCW.
I know I was. Even as a 10-year-old, I was like,
Well, we've done a
They don't
couple of
belong
those,
here.
we've done a couple of those pay-per-views, Richie, where I put a star by all the stuff that had shenanigans in the finish. it was like every match on pay-per-view.
Yeah,
It
There
was
were,
like
there were more stars than
yeah,
not.
I think we did one that had like 10 matches because it was a Russo thing, so some of them only lasted like 3 minutes, and like I put a star by like 9 of them that all had like interference or some DQ or some bullshit, like yeah, that's annoying.
And like 2009 Impact, which is also Russo, which is like
Yeah.
My one thought, because I thought this was just like a really good, championship match. My one thought, spot of the night, Prince Nana chasing away Nick Wayne with a pipe. Loved that spot.
Yeah. After he got ejected, by the way.
Right. Yeah. And then he came back anyway.
Yeah.
But JPO, what did you think of the championship match here?
No, I thought it was actually a really good match here. I mean, as you said, the only two qualms from the weekend were some of the most predictable matches were the world title matches. Cody and Swerve. I think it's kind of a perfect first Swerve match, though. I mean, yeah, again, the whole rankings thing, and I joked already about how he's in a title shot, and then he just lost the title. But it's kind of a perfect match here. It is, I think, kind of a pay-per-view worthy match. A bit of a story too that they already had going, so they kind of built on that. Decently built up, a lot of good match.
Yeah. Richie.
Yeah, I thought it was like really good, and I wasn't expecting anything less. And Christian's really good heel at the moment. I don't know, but for some reason I was just expecting like because of Swerve's momentum, I was expecting something like maybe a bit bigger. I guess there's the idea that he's almost like sharing this main event status. I was kind of hoping like he would be like on the top of the marquee most of that time. I don't want things to stunt his momentum, and I feel like we're getting to that point already where there's plans in place where that could happen, and I don't want that to happen because he's really good. I mean, he's a really big star at the moment, and I just don't want to mess that up. But like the match in isolation, the match itself was really good. But so like I have no match that I have no problems with the match itself. I thought it was really good. Yeah, the optics of Prince Nana chasing away Nick Wayne is really funny, but yeah, also badass at the same time. The entrance with Prince Nana was great. As it is. So yeah, I like the match, but yeah, I'm concerned how they're going to book his title run going forward. But hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah, Pez.
Well, I mean, I think he'll definitely be on the top of the card at Forbidden Door if he's facing Will. That's going to be the main
You
event.
would think that, but I like that I like it to be because it's because of Will, though. You know what I mean? Like it's not because of.
No, I get what you're saying because it's more like Will is like the big attraction right now. Yeah, especially the matches he's been having. But yeah, I mean, I was starting to fade a little bit like during this match because it was kind of long, and like I remember it being good. I remember them teasing another stair spot, kind of like the Darby thing, and I went, "Oh God, please don't do that to Swerve." Like I really want that guy to hold on to his belt. But yeah, I don't remember exactly what it was. There was a really good false finish where the crowd almost bought that Christian was going to win the title. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something. But again, some of it kind of blends in my head by the time we got to the 4-hour mark of the show. We still had a 30-minute match to go. But yeah, I mean, kudos to Paul Turner for having some really good big animated ejections. Crowd pop for it, when he finally ejected all the rest of the guys. That was fun. He did a whole big like you, and you're all out of here. Like it was good. So good for him. But yeah, I mean, a good solid sort of sports entertainment, main event. And yeah, no, crowd was into it. And again, kudos to them for still being into everything, though. So
yeah,
sure,
yeah. And then we get to the main event because it was the last match on the show.
There's 3.
No, there's one. It was this one. It was the Anarchy in the Arena match. The Elite,
my favorite type of match.
The Elite, yeah, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, Kazuchika Okada, Jack Perry defeating. It's weird calling them Team AEW, but okay. Brian Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR. But yeah, no, I'll be honest. I was also kind of out of it, so I was like half paying attention to this. The only spot that's really stuck with me is Darby Allin setting Jack Perry on fire.
I can't believe we like say those words. Like somebody got set on fire on a pay-per-view. Like not like in a context of like an Inferno match or something, where like MVP, got his sleeve set on fire or something, just some whatever, or like the Vampiro thing where it was clearly like a stunt double falling off a thing, like covered in a full bodysuit, but like. No, Jack Perry smeared some kind of gel all over his legs and got set on fire. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Like, are we really doing that? And then, like, there was conveniently 2 giant fire extinguishers that you trusted the Young Bucks to put them out. Okay.
Right. Oh, they conveniently had fire extinguishers at just the right time.
As soon as we saw that, we were watching it. I was like, oh, there's 2 nice giant fire extinguishers right by the entranceway. I wonder if those will get used here in the next 2 minutes. Yeah.
And then there was a nasty looking spot where they had thumbtacks on the bottom of the shoes and they super kicked Darby Allin, who's hanging upside down right in the face. And
then they just left him hanging there for like 10 minutes. That seemed dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I was like half paying attention at this point, and I don't even know if I want to go back and rewatch it. Maybe you guys can convince me otherwise. I don't know. Richie, what did you think of the Anarchy match?
It was good. I liked it. I liked aspects of it, but yeah, like I mean the Jack Perry thing. I feel like it's just like he's going. I don't know. Maybe I'm just sort of looking to. I just feel like it's just going. The whole gimmick is going all out. Like like too extreme just to. Maybe prove a point for the CM Punk thing. I don't know. It's just like it just seems a bit, But once I realized on Dynamite when he had a fucking flame, Tony Khan, character gave him a fucking flamethrower. I'm like, oh yeah, they're gonna use flames. They're gonna use fire in this match, aren't they? So yeah. But yeah. So yeah. I mean, I like the match. I thought it was, I mean, I like the that spot where they like where. Bryan Danielson cut the music. He's like, no, we're gonna listen to the greatest fucking theme all the time. And that was just a final countdown the whole time. That was good. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it's just an AEW thing that they need an Anakin in the arena match all the time. They just feel like, hey, we need one. I like I don't think anything's topped to the one they did with during the pandemic. Not the Anakin in the arena, but it was like, was it the
Stampede?
Yeah, I love that first Stadium Stampede. I thought it was fucking fantastic. But yeah, so but like yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't. The second Anakin Arena was all right, but yeah, this one was fun.
Pez?
I don't like this kind of match. Just too much shit going on. I can't pay attention. They don't do enough split screen. There's a split screen, and then when you go 4-way split screen, it's like, what the fuck am I supposed to watch? Like, how am I supposed to pay attention to 4 split screens? Like, there's one, Dax and somebody are up in the concession stand, and somebody else they're on the, entryway, and somebody else they're in the crowd, and Darby's doing coffin drops off of a balcony or whatever, and then somebody else, and then all of a sudden we miss a spot in a parking lot where supposedly Jack Perry ran him over in a box or something. Like they completely missed that. Unless you're gonna pre-tape this stuff like Stadium Stampede and like have a way to edit, everything between, I think it's too much. It's too much chaos. Like there was the one they did at Wembley. I know that was technically Stadium Stampede, but they at least like mapped it out to where everybody kind of in a group went from place to place to place. So you were able to kind of follow everything. And this one, when there's people all over the damn place, I tune out. And then like, I'll tune back in when they finally all get back to the ring. But I don't think we need to be setting people on fire. That's like one thing where I'm just like, there's just too much that can go wrong there. I don't really like to see that. And yeah, Darby hanging upside down for 10 minutes is pretty dangerous because you really can pass out from shit like that, blood rushing to your head. But I mean, I don't mind some of the hardcore stuff, but yeah, I just don't like this style of match. So it really just wasn't for me. But that's just me. I'm sure Dave Meltzer already gave it 5 stars, so that's fine. Yeah.
JPO.
It was in Japan, so probably.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm not gonna necessarily say do or don't watch it here. I think if this is your cup of tea, you'll enjoy it here. I enjoyed it, but at the same time, I don't think it's one of the better ones. I think this was fine. It has its moments for sure. I think at the beginning and then even at the end, I do kind of like the kind of crazy ending with fire, with someone being hung up. Whatever, I'll go for it. Everyone's safe. Everyone's still good. So I'll go for it. Like I said, I had enough fun here. I don't mind these matches here. But yeah, I've never quite understood 5 stars. I don't understand hating it either. They're fun, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we will, just like we always do, and just like you saw us do with King of the Ring, we will give our score out of 10. Pez, I'll start with you this time.
This was tough because the stuff that was good was really good. But the length to me this time, I really, really felt it. This show was way too damn long. And I don't know if Forbidden Door is going to be any better because that was the longest one last year, I think. As we said, 15 matches. It's like, how much stuff is he going to cram into that? If you want to throw a bunch on a pre-show that's optional to watch, that's fine. But your main show should not be longer than 4. Like, it just shouldn't. You need to have a tight thing. So I'm going to go like a 6.5 here. Like, I'm not dumping on it, but Will and Roderick Strong set the pace in the opening match, and I feel like nothing else on the show got to that, and that was great. Again, I don't think anything on here was necessarily like bad, technically speaking. There was some good stuff with some good heat. Will and Mercedes kind of lived up to the hype. Swerve and Christian was good. Again, Moxley and Takeshita was fun, and that beat the hell out of each other type of stuff. So there was good stuff on here, but I don't think it was one of their strongest shows. So I'll go 6.5.
All right, JPO.
I'll go higher. I do definitely understand what you mean by the length, but again, when I don't feel like there's any shitty matches, I don't want to go less than 7.5 because I did enjoy most things. I enjoyed the main event. I enjoyed the title match here. Like you said, I don't know if there's really a bad match. Maybe the worst since Orange and Trent, but even that's like a decent match. It's not necessarily pay-per-view worthy, but at least it wasn't bad. So, like, yeah, and I don't know, nothing egregiously bad. So I think still pretty worth checking out here. Definitely not going to be pay-per-view of the year. I think they've had 2 bangers over this, but I think still worth checking out.
Yeah, Richie.
To give my King of the Ring a score, anyway, that was 7, and I'm going to give this a 7. I'm in the middle of you two. I think that nothing.
Richie sandwich.
Yeah, Richie.
Nothing
to like. There's nothing like blow other than the Roderick Strong Will Ospreay match is great. And yeah, like the other matches they were good, but I felt like they. A lot of time that they either like finished before just as they were getting to another gear, or just had some sort of issues as to why they were on the card at all, and that it was so a long show by that point. And then they've had better shows this year. I mean, and WWE has better shows this year as well. So like I don't know, it's probably a show that'd be like maybe talking about a year from now, it's going to be hard to remember everything that a lot of things happened because it's not as I don't feel it's going to be as memorable as some other shows. Just maybe beyond a couple of things here. So I think about 7's fine because there's nothing inherently bad or anything like that. It was a good watchable show. But yes, I wish they would just have 3-hour pay-per-views. Tony Khan didn't even rule out a 3-hour. He was asked about the idea of a 3-hour Dynamite, so you didn't even rule that out. I'm like, fucking don't you dare.
You know he would. Oh, that dude totally would.
I fucking know he would, and that's a terrible idea. He would destroy. They would get even lower ratings than they're getting now.
Yeah, but I'm at an incomplete because, like I said, I wasn't really paying attention to the Anarchy in the arena match, other than the fire spot and then the Darby hanging upside down. But up to that point, I was like, I was around a 7 to a 7.5. There was nothing that I would say was bad. Maybe unnecessary. Orange and Trent, but still good action in ring. I think we had a really good women's match with Willow and Mercedes, and then some fun moments. So yeah, I'm about 7.5 up to the main event. So that was I think it was a good weekend of wrestling, and then we got some good stuff this week on the TV shows. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between now and next Thursday. But between now and next Thursday, Jordan, quick plugs.
Oh yeah,
and prediction wise, so JPO, you still have one in the tank. So you still owed one, so you can do whatever you want next week. I would say we'll get to yours first.
Yeah.
And then me and Jacob tied for King of the Ring, so we each have one. And then I won Double or Nothing, so I've got 2 in the tank. So
and Richie is just happy to be here.
Yeah, he's happy to be here. So JPO plugs, and you've had some time to ruminate on this one. So what do you got for us?
I always had the same idea because I'm just milking off what we already did. Let's continue our rankums. Let's do 90s.
Oh, okay. So rank them 90s next week. All right.
Hell yeah.
Well, we don't have. We're in a dead week, in between stuff, so that makes sense.
So yeah, I think that'll be fun. Again, we'll go over specifics, but all the 90s, all the companies. Yeah, we'll go over more during the week. And then you know the normal stuff. We're not popping up on the channel. I believe I'm here tomorrow night on whatever we're talking about on movie tournament fights or team ranker. I forget. I just put in my notes.
It's me and Jacob's favorite actor.
Your actor thingy. Yeah. There you go. Cool.
But some people are confused. We each picked 4 actors and then 8 of their movies. So
the movies.
Yeah. People.
Which is what it was the whole time.
It was Jordan's idea, this whole thing, and then he's like, "Oh, I thought it was like actors." I'm like, "It was your idea to give it to." Anyways, whatever. So,
although I do like the actor idea, just saying.
Well, we've done that before too. We've all submitted our favorite actors before. We did that like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think it wasn't the verses, but it was like 4 people.
It was one of those battles. We all picked like 4 people or whatever. Yeah, we did that one time.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then when I'm not popping up on here, popping up over, of course, at the Pierce Co. Movie trivia, all that fun jazz. Pierce Wrestling, similar idea before wrestling. All the other places too. Yeah.
All
right. Richie, quick plugs. We're trying to keep it under 3 hours. Go.
Okay. I will be on that thing. So tournament fight. So it'll probably be a Lonely Marks thing. I don't know. Maybe just the Lonely Marks panel. I'll be on. Doing trivia tomorrow with JPO, the ASAP rules match. Should be fun. And you can catch me on other tournament fights. I'm doing Malcolm's Top 64, and then you can catch me on CWT sometimes and all other places. And you can catch me here next week doing Rankum 90s. Yeah.
All right. And Pez, go.
I'll be on the real Rankum on Sunday talking opening scenes of the 2010s, and that's and then everything else here on the Movie Hero Network. So that's all I got.
I will also be there for Rankum on Sunday talking opening scenes of the 2010s. I gotta get my list together.
Yeah, me too.
It's gonna be, but it's a fun and interesting topic. I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how long that episode actually is, because nothing is off limits.
I'm probably just going to say yes to everything. So just bring shit up and say yes.
All right. Number 1, The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, whatever. Sure.
Nice. All right. But we're going to keep it under 3 hours. That's great. Yeah. So if you were watching live, thank you.
Hey, did you guys talk about Ethan Page?
Yes.
We did. Yeah.
Did you guys talk about Jordan
Grace? Yes, we already talked about that. You missed it. Be here on time and you can talk about it next time. All right.
I love Ethan Page. Ethan Page is great. I'm happy he found a home.
He's great.
He whooped that trick.
Yeah.
Get it? Because his name's Trick Williams.
And he says whoop that trick.
And he whooped him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were watching live, thank you. If you're watching on the replay, also thank you. Let us know what you think of King of the Ring and Double or Nothing. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified when we go live. We'll be back next Thursday. Pez, take us out.